Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, episode 624. We have the great Tomi Lahren in the house. How are you?
Good to be here.
Good to have you on.
Do I stick out? Do I stand out in the group?
With the pink, maybe a little bit. You know, next to Vinny with the black Valuetainment shirt. And Tom excited about the baseball. What is it? Not trade deadline today,
MLB
6
trade
p.m.
deadline, 6 p.m.
It's going to be intense. So we have we have Yankees fans, we have Dodgers, and we have Mets.
Yeah.
And you got to be committed to the Mets. And you guys got the money. So it's going to be.
And the Marlins, PBD.
I don't know if you're a
Marlins guy.
I don't know. I don't know whose
Are you,
fan
Adam?
you are, but we got a lot of stories to get through. We got a lot of stories to get through. And Tommy, one of the things with you, when the first time I heard you, we were friends with Jessica Gross, who was a friend of yours, and she used to work with us many, many years ago. I want to say, it could have been 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Before she worked with you, she executive produced my show on The Blaze.
Okay,
so I trained her, or she trained me. I don't know, both.
One of the two.
And then I sent her your way.
But what year was that? Do you remember when that was?
That
or
was
no?
like 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
My God, 2017. Because all she would do is Tomi Lahren, Tomi Lahren, Tomi Lahren, Tomi Lahren, Tomi Lahren. I'm like, buddy, we got it. She's great. We see her firing off all over the place.
And bringing cookies. She was like this master cookie maker.
She was. Yeah, she was. And she had an interesting sense of humor. But she had a very unique sense of humor. I don't need to talk about it here. She just had a sense of humor. I think you would agree with that.
Yes. She still has it, by the way.
She still got it, baby.
And she's still alive. I feel like we're talking about her in memoriam.
No, she's young. She's definitely young. She's definitely around. Wherever you are, Jessica, shout out to you.
She's single?
She is, actually. And looking.
Yeah. Adam, leave her alone. Okay. Yes, gang, stories to get through today. All right. So, new poll shows astonishing outcome. Ready? This is kind of crazy. In fantasy 2028 matchup between Obama and Trump. What? Two-term presidents against each other? You should see what the poll says on who wins. And it's by big lead on who wins. Now, who knows if it's true or not, but it is what it is. It's their poll. Trump says Wall Street Journal wants to settle defamation lawsuit. Overwhelming good cause exists to expedite. Trump wants to put Rupert Murdoch under oath right away after filing massive defamation lawsuit against the WSJ, Wall Street Journal, over the Epstein report, the letter that they said they found. It's going to be nasty. This is supposed to be a friend. He was just at the White House a few months ago, and the president was speaking very highly of him, complimentary. Trump seriously considering a pardon for his old friend Diddy. Sure. That's a funny one right there. Trump trade deal for the world will be done by Friday, but China will take longer. That's the only one I'm interested in. That's what Lutnick says. Young man failed to name any masculine Dem leaders not named Obama. So they don't view like Tim Walz as a masculine. You don't think Tim Walz is masculine, tough guy, plays video games.
Tampon Tim.
Yeah,
that
I mean, you got to give a little bit of a masculinity.
It's a real man.
The Fed holds rates steady for the 5th time this year, but some officials think it's the wrong call. Powell under siege as Fed plans to stand pat on rate cuts, and then Bessent, Warsh, and Hassett are leading contenders to get the Fed chair job. A lot of people are watching Trump and Powell. They're like, oh, he's going to have to lower the rates. He's going to have to do this with the $3.1 billion. I think Powell is now just saying, screw you.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm not doing nothing about it, but we'll see.
Especially after you slap me in the back.
There's more to it there.
Really? You think there's more to it? Tom's got more to it.
I think so. And Trump's on caps lock. Here we go.
This next story is Tom's favorite story. It's, how, who just paid $200 million? Columbia paid $200 million?
Yeah, Columbia paid $200 million.
Now, Harvard is apparently supposed to pay $500 million, but check this out. The story is because UCLA wasn't that, discriminatory, they're only going to have to pay $6.5 million or some small number, whatever the number is, right? They played nice.
And Brown just paid $50. It's a Ivy League bingo card of fines.
Yeah, but Harvard, $500 million. That's pretty solid. Spotify drops 11% for the worst day in 2 years on weak guidance. Starbucks, shock earnings and latest report. The CEO confirms plan to close up to 90 locations by the end of 2026. ESPN done with Shannon Sharpe's deal after bombshell $50 million rape lawsuit. Colbert's left-wing show became therapy session for liberal study. You have to see how many conservatives he had on versus liberals. And the number is maybe shocking, maybe not to some people, okay? And even the conservative that he had on, some say, I don't even know if that person is conservative, but we'll tell you who that person is. Your body starts aging faster at this inflection point. It's easier than you think. Adam's worried about it because we're a couple years away from this age that this story talks about.
Before you know it.
And we're just like, really, he was here last night crying. I'm like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine, but
Thank you, sir.
we'll get over it. We'll get over it. Meta beats Q2 expectations. Stock jumps better than anticipating Q3 outlook. Fed Powell, we'll talk about that one. And then Microsoft climbs to $4 trillion company. And after hours trading on blowout earnings. Senate vote against resolution to block arms sales to Israel, even as it continues to starve Gaza. And then we got a couple other stories here at the bottom that hopefully we may get into. Yeah, Brown is at $50 million. We'll do that. All right, before we get started, gang, Polo, you were asking about the latest Polo shirts that are coming up. It took us a few months to get them. They're finally in. I wore one of these. Everybody was asking, where did you get these Vitamin Polo shirts? They're right there. We got them in brown, black, white, gray, and another white. There's a bunch of them on here for those because it's hot. Yesterday, we flew in from Orlando. We're on a flight, flying back on this private jet, and we're asking the pilot, hey, can you turn on the AC? I can't turn on the AC. Mario makes the mistake of asking the guy, he says, I heard this is a Mach. What did he ask him? He says,
Mach? Does it go Mach? And the guy was like, yeah, it goes Mach 1.5.
It goes actually Mach 1.1. And this is, and then next, we get on the jet, and this guy goes, he starts doing all this stuff, showing off. I'm like, what is this guy doing? On the way back, we're flying low. He says, I can't turn on the AC. I get off the plane.
Do you remember what I look like? Honestly, look like somebody poured water all over you.
I get off the plane. My entire shirt is flipping, drenched. And this is why Tommy just announced she's moving to Florida because she loved the humidity here. But for some of you guys that are in the heat, you want to wear a polo shirt and have the vitamin gear on, go place your order at vtmerch.com. We did not order too many of these. But if you want to get them, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, sport them. We were at Orlando at the Gaylord event. Cannot wait to see all of you guys at the Vol Conference. FYI, for those of you guys that are wondering if I was serious, she's not moving to Florida. She loves Nashville. That was a joke, folks. Don't write about it. All right. Okay. So,
sneezing on the truth.
Let's get into which story, Tommy? Let's pick a story here to get into. Let's go into Harvard story. How about that? So, Harvard reportedly willing to surrender in war with Trump admin, even if it costs $500 million. Rob, I think you got a video on this one if you want to pull it up to go to it. This is an interesting story. Rob, is this him talking about it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go for it.
Harvard is reportedly willing to settle with you for $500 million. Is that enough?
Well, it's a lot of money. We're negotiating with Harvard now. They would like to settle, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, that's a pretty fast answer, but let me read the one sentence here. Negotiations are ongoing with Harvard reluctant to pay the federal government directly, and the potential deal may include a settlement in the current court dispute over funding cuts exceeding $2 billion. And I keep in mind, Columbia University already paid $200 million.
Yep.
There's a couple other schools. Brown, I think, is going through a $50 million deal with administration. UCLA settled for only $6.13 million. But Harvard, $500 million. Tommy, what do you think? Why do you think?
Not about the money, first of all. And we would not be in this situation at all if you could just protect your Jewish students. It's really not that hard. And they fought tooth and nail under a former president, President Otto Penn. I don't think that they felt the pressure and the heat. President Trump comes into office. He says, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. It's not about the money. It's not about the settlement. It's about the message that this sends to the Ivy League schools. You will not be allowed to bully and harass Jewish students. They will not be kept from their classes that they're paying for. They will not be intimidated. Not about the money. It's about the message. But I think the fact that President Trump has held strong on this, it's pretty incredible because they keep calling this man Hitler and a Nazi. But I can't think of many other world leaders that have stood up for Jewish students and Jewish people quite like this current president.
Yeah, I mean, the question I got is, why is Harvard half, Columbia 200, Brown 50, and The UCLA 6.1. It's almost as if UCLA is being seen like, dude, you're a nobody, just pay 6.1. Or were they easier to deal with, Tom? What do you know about the story?
Well, UCLA's suit came from a group that didn't get federal support. So this was I believe that's correct. This is an independent group that came and said, hey, you know, this anti-Zionist stuff and the things you were doing on here, we feel settlement. And so UCLA is making a fast settlement with an independent group. Now, if that settlement gets the attention of the White House, which I imagine it would, there could be a federal round to this fight. But that's what's going on with UCLA. But you know what's really interesting about this? There are 7,000 undergrad students at Harvard. I think it's 7,089. And number one. Number two, the tuition at Harvard's about $86,000 all in, you know, dorm tuition, the whole bit. But with the financial aid that goes out there, it comes out to $55,000 a student. What is 7,000 students times $55,000?
Don't do this to Vinny, $385 million.
My gosh, Vinny, that's correct.
How the hell?
So they could have
cheated.
They could have taken the $500 million and just told all their students, guess what? We're sorry about what happened. Nobody pays tuition this year. So it is about the message. I agree with Tommy. It is not about the money. But we need to take a look at what really the scope of money also is here. It's also the public embarrassment because to the average person, holy crap, $500 million? They don't know that Harvard's got like a $53 billion endowment right now. I think it's crossed over 53. The average person doesn't know that. But the headline is Trump beat Harvard. Harvard paid up. And that is, I think, the strong message here that just like the trade, one at a time he's getting them, and now the Ivy League, one at a time he's getting them.
Rob, can you find out, and Tommy, I want to come to you, Rob, can you find out what the endowment is for UCLA, Harvard, Columbia, and what it is for Brown? Go ahead, Tommy. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, I do, because I think not only is this a message being sent, I think the message for young, especially young Jewish students and their family, this is also an incredibly strong message. A settlement's great, an acknowledgement is great, but I'll tell you, a lot of these young Jewish students, they're not going to the Ivy League in the Northeast anymore. I'll tell you where they're going. They're going to Tennessee. They're going to Alabama. They're going to Mississippi. They're going to Florida. They're going to SEC schools and some others because they don't want to be harassed and they want to go to school and they don't want to have protests on their campus. They don't want another encampment when these nerds are too socially awkward and unaware to actually enjoy college. They'd rather be out protesting and waving Hamas flags. They want to go to Alabama. They want to rush a fraternity or a sorority. They want to have a college experience. So it's going to take a lot more from Harvard and the rest of these Ivy Leagues than just a settlement or even just an apology. They're going to have to change the culture on campus because you're going to see people fleeing to better schools with more attractive people with a better college experience. And that happens in the South.
I want to go back to college now.
Are we already seeing
after that speech?
Are we seeing that?
Yes, we are. And I'll tell you where we're seeing it. And help me out. I'm pulling something out of the hard drive here with Alabama. There was a protest that was happening on campus in Alabama. But the crowd of basically fraternity brothers holding beers.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Where they came out there and the crowd of
ACC, SEC, it's no big deal.
The crowd of students that didn't want any of this crap was quickly larger than the protesters. And the campus police formed a line that was basically preventing the students from enforcing physical response to the protest. And the campus police said, hey, your permit to demonstrate is over at sunset, which is 7 o'clock, and we're off shift and going home. I think you should pack up and go, because if we leave and you're still here, this rowdy group that's also drinking beers over there, they're going to kick your ass. And the protesters, and I believe I'm getting the essence of the story straight, am I not?
Partly, and then also you've got these frat brothers who are not going to let that American flag touch the ground when you have these feral Hamas supporters that are trying to rip down the American flag.
Yeah, they were the flag defenders. It was
and denigrate
Alabama.
Our country and denigrate Israel. And you've got these frat bros at UNC that are like, no, we're not letting this flag touch the ground. You're not going to do anything to this flag. You're not going to burn this flag. And that's what you get when you go to SEC schools or similar type schools in the South, in Florida, and a few other places. You're not going to have these people put up with this crap.
To me, that's the most important thing.
okay, we see what's going on with the Jews in Israel and all this stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this comes down to, do you love America or not? Because the people that are waving the Palestinian flags, the people that are basically doing these encampments, they don't love America. I mean, we can, like, the Jews and everything that's going on here with these settlements, Harvard allegedly maybe having to have to pay $500 million, all these other fines. Okay, the Jews are a canary in the coal mine. The reality is these students that go to Harvard, Columbia, Cornell, the list goes on, they don't love America. You know, you tell the story about you went to Harvard for the business planning event there, whatever it was, and this was in 2016 with Trump.
This is Trump, Hillary, because you'd be in jail.
You said zero people.
Not one person rooted for
Trump.
Trump out of 300 people that were there.
Okay, so 1, 2, 5, 10, 0. At the end of the day, these schools are indoctrination camps to just hate America.
Thank you.
And the trickle-down effect is they don't love Israel or the Jews.
But let me ask you guys a question.
Story.
What about the people that are funding it? Because to me, none of that crap is organic. None of it happens on its own. What about the NGOs? What about the Open Society, the George Soroses, who are funding to make this happen? Because I don't believe these cats just woke up and they're like, let's put on some keffiyehs and go out there and say we hate Israel and we hate Jews. That shit's all planned, just like every big ass event that happens in the United States, from BLM to all these things to cause this division. Are they ever gonna get freaking held accountable? Is George Soros ever gonna get held accountable for all the damage and destruction that he does in this country?
Those are two different things. I think you got to isolate two issues.
But is he paying for these people?
Well, no, you got to isolate those two issues and address. Those are two separate things.
I agree.
But to think about, the issue for me is the following. To me, I'm also not from overprotecting a community more than another community. Let me explain to you what makes me uncomfortable with that. The last 5 years, they overprotected the LGBTQ community. What do you mean overprotecting? I understand if you're protecting. Totally get it. But overprotecting that you can't say certain things and videos were being canceled, and we went back to reality. Overprotecting African Americans, overprotecting whites, overprotecting Jews, overprotecting whatever minority community may be. Protect everybody, be fair with everybody, allow the merit base to be there, don't fall for the mob. The mob is going to convince you that they're bigger than they are. You were afraid of the mob. You look like a clown when you were not willing to stand up to them, and that's what makes these institutions look bad. I did a quick math. If you look at the amount of money that they paid based on how much money they have in their endowments, who do you think paid the most? Based on the fine, don't look there, Tom.
Out of all the Ivy Leagues?
You cheated, Tom. Tom can't play.
Out of all the Ivy Leagues?
Out of all the schools, UCLA, Brown, Columbia, Harvard, who do you think paid the biggest fine based on their number, the fine, to the dollar amount that they have?
I would guess Columbia.
Yeah.
Columbia paid the biggest fine. Okay, 1.5% of their endowment.
Jeez.
Number 2 is Harvard, 1%. Number 3 is Brown, 0.8%. UCLA paid 0.02%. Okay? So UCLA was like, I don't even know what happened over there. It wasn't a big deal that they went by. But even Harvard, as much as we say $500 million, compared to the, $51 billion that they have, it's not that much bigger than what Columbia had to pay. So Columbia paid the biggest price. By the way, that's assuming Harvard only pays $500 million. This has not been finalized yet. It's still ongoing.
And where is Columbia located?
I want to go to the next
Downtown
story.
New York.
It's in New York.
Next story.
I want to go to the next story.
Next story.
I want to go to...
I think Pat wants to go to the next story. Vinny, would you let him go?
I overwhelmingly want to go to the next story. And the story I wanted to get to is Shannon Sharpe. So, Rob, what page is the Shannon Sharpe story here? So Shannon Sharpe has had some issues, okay? Last year, Shannon Sharpe, maybe it was even this year. Last year, Shannon Sharpe somehow didn't know how to turn off Instagram Live while he was having some extracurricular activities with somebody, a friend, right? And he's like, I don't know how to use Instagram. Yeah, for sure. It's like 7 steps to go live.
Yeah.
Very, very easy to just press and go live, right? Now, you got to keep in mind, his podcast is blown up. Cat Williams, biggest podcast I think he did of 2023 or 2024.
Club Shay
crushed
Shay.
it, 70-something million. You got to give the guy a shout out. He knows how to get the eyeballs, and he has stayed steady doing what he's done. So shout out to him being phenomenal at the interviews he's done. Not just one, many of them. ESPN done with Shannon Sharpe after bombshell, $50 million rape lawsuit. What was the 19-year-old girl? How
old was she?
Some story,
20,
19, 20, 21-year-old girl. Something happened with the girl. She was a 19 or 20-year-old girl that he was hooking up with, or something happened there. All right, let me read this to you. ESPN severed ties with Pro Football Hall of Fame Shannon Sharpe, as reported by the Athletic Andrew marching on Wednesday following settlement of $50 million. Nevada State Court in April accused him of sexual assault, sexual battery, and battery. The plaintiff, Jane Doe, that's obviously not the real name, I'm assuming, right? Jane Doe, alleged Sharpe assaulted her multiple times in late 2024 and early 2025. Sharpe denied all allegations of coercion and misconduct, with his lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, stating the evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios. Sharpe stepped away from ESPN's First Take April after joining in 2023, saying, at this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me at ESPN. Okay? ESPN supported his decision, stating to the press, this is a serious situation and we agree with Shannon Sharpe's decision to step away. Now, this is him, what he said yesterday of how he feels about the decision, and he only had one request from ESPN, which ESPN didn't accept his request. Go for it, Rob.
Before we get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted it to be about him, and I wanted it to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring.
He was very complimentary of ESPN, didn't say anything bad about ESPN. The only thing that he said is he wanted this to be left till Monday for the Celebration Hall of Fame of Sterling Sharpe, et cetera, et cetera. Now, having said that, your thoughts on the story?
Again, accusations, all this have to be taken seriously. But I would also say to all these people, because this just seems to be a rinse and repeat story of all of these big names, a lot of them sports that have gone into television, what have you. Accusations come out, then you got lawsuits, then you got your network involved, then you've got, salacious details, and then you got more accusers that come out. And first of all, don't do gross things and don't hurt people and don't assault people. First and foremost, I think that's a given. But also, to these people that are in these positions, I've lived by a rule. Don't mess with anybody who has nothing to lose. And by that I mean, not only don't do bad stuff, but if you are a public figure, or if you've got money or fame or a platform, you have to be really, really careful who you spend your time with and what you do and how much you divulge. And it's unfortunate. That's part of the reality, though, of being a public figure, because this kind of stuff can ruin your life. He's got money. He's not going to go broke, we don't think. He'll weather this fine, probably get another gig, do his own thing. But this cloud is going to follow him around probably for the rest of his life. And if it's true, then he deserves it. If it's not, well, that's just more damage from the Me Too movement, that we take everybody's word as gospel now.
I actually love that advice. Be careful associating with people that have nothing to lose. It is so flippin' true. Like, hey, you're hanging out with somebody, they're doing dumb stuff, they go to jail, they don't care. You can lose your career, everything. That's a very sound advice to anybody that's even younger coming up when you're doing that. By the way, a couple of things I want to give you when, Vinny, I come to you.
Yep.
Here's a girl's name. Meet Gabrielle Zuniga. If you go a little bit lower, Rob, that's her. Rob, you could have chosen any other picture. You chose that one, Rob. I mean, there's like plenty of pictures you could have done. But all right, so that's the girl. Now, I, at the same time, went online and typed in what his career earnings was. In the NFL, over 14 years, he made $22.3 million. $22.3 million, Tom, in 14 years. Not a lot of money after taxes, after agents. So he hasn't made a lot of money, okay? And he's probably spent a lot of that. Now, YouTube. Can we see how many views his YouTube channel got last 12 months? What did Shannon Sharpe's YouTube channel get last 12 months? Can you just go to ChatGPT and ask it, will it show you or no? I just want to know how many views it got. So if you go into Club Shay Shay, Okay, he's gotten 1.1 billion views in the last 12 months.
Wow.
So you take 1.1 billion views, okay? That's total views. Let's say last 12 months is 300 million views. 300 million views, Rob. If you get $4,000 per million view, $4,000 times 300 million, couple $1 million. So it's not like it's that much money either. At Spotify, at sponsorship, let's say his podcast is making him $10 million a year, $5 to $10 million a year. So he's got money there. I don't know how much his ESPN contract was. Online, they're saying his net worth is $14 million. I don't even know how much he settled for. Is this a $50 million settlement that he did, by the way? Is that the number that we're reading
That's
about?
what I think she was suing for. There's allegedly they settled at $10 million.
Is that
Can
the
we
number
confirm
they're
that?
talking about? Okay. So, Tom, question coming your way. Vinny, I'm going to come to you.
Dude, yeah,
I'm going to go to him and then I'll come to you because I want to ask him based on this.
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer.
Yep.
We all know who he is. We've had him on. He's a good friend. We've talked many times. He's visited us many, many times. This guy was at the top of the top, wins the Cy Young Award, meets a girl. They do what they do. All the texts show that it was consensual. And maybe he watched 50 Shades of Grey one too many times. I don't know. Maybe he was inspired by, what's the guy's name? Something Gray, right? Maybe he wanted to be that guy in baseball. Who knows? The girl was okay with it. Then they go to Pasadena court. Then she loses. And he's like, dude, okay, can I come back to the MLB? No, you're too toxic. I didn't do anything wrong. No, you can't come back. Rob Manfred doesn't allow this guy to come back. He gets blackballed. Teams are afraid of signing this guy. And then he's now playing the game, not making a lot of money, just having the time of his life in Mexico. But he didn't settle. How different is the Trevor Bauer case versus the Shannon Sharpe case, Tom?
Well, the Trevor Bauer case, what we found out at the end, with 3 texts from her to a friend, did you get the bag? Did you set it up? And those were there. And Pasadena prosecutors sat on that for months, which if you take something like that to a grand jury, the grand jury goes, no, wait a minute here. This is like a premeditated entrapment here. She's trying to entrap to get the civil suit, to get the headlines, which would compel him to settle a civil suit. It's a playbook. It's a playbook for the cleat chasers. Now, I agree with Tommy that you got to be careful. And if you've gone out there and you've really assaulted somebody and done something, then women need to be protected. Victims need to be protected. Given their silence, get it to the grand jury, and prosecution has to take place. That's not what happened to Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer met a cleat chaser. She enacted the entrapment, but he wouldn't back down. But baseball, under social pressure at that time, flinched, and they suspended him during the investigation. That's normal. Baseball will say, hey, you get arrested, something's up, you're going to go on, basically the equivalent of administrative leave, and we're going to let this thing play out. But Trevor gave facts, was bringing receipts, and was very compelling in that. But then baseball didn't come back the other way and say, whoops, sorry. Now, many people, including me, think the reason baseball wouldn't do that, it opens them up to a civil suit because then he gets to go after baseball. So you really shouldn't have suspended me. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have leaked to the media.
Let me ask
I'm coming after you.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
So baseball stands with, we stand by our decision.
But I'm asking you a question. So let's just say that's the case, and I'm with you there. Can Trevor Bauer's lawyers go to Manfred and say, we are willing to hold you harmless if you allow me to come back, that I can never sue you in the civil court? Can Trevor Bauer's lawyers go request that from MLB?
Yes, they can, and I think they did. I'm not going to speak for his agent, Rachel Luba, but I believe Rachel and Trevor even went to teams and said, look, if you want to test the announcement, I'll play for $0. Just test the announcement, and let's see if there's a pop of Me Tooism or some people that are reacting without the facts. And then, as that dies down, I'll play this year for free. Instead, he goes to Mexico, wins the equivalent of the Mexican Cy Young and the championship of the Mexican League. And this year, he's back with the Bay Stars in Japan. And the fans love him. And by the way, the fans in Mexico and the fans in Bay Stars, they love him. Because what does he do? He throws a great ball. And he helps him win.
Are you kidding me? This guy was he was like the first YouTuber baseball player showing the experience of baseball, bringing young guys wanting to watch the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Trevor's a friend of mine as well, and I've had him on my show, and this is devastating. But it's not only that they won't let him come back. I mean, let's be honest, he's not at the top of his career anymore. It's been years since then. In baseball, your longevity is only so long. So they robbed him of many millions of dollars because
200-300?
of this. But this goes back to, again, and I think this should be lessons for all young athletes out there. When they're doing all this NIL crap, instead, do a lesson on who to associate with and who not to associate with.
Then, Tommy, I got a question for you. So I'm a single baseball player, okay? Your husband, baseball, right? Okay. So I'm a single baseball player. I'm a single football player. I got girls running up to me left and right. How the hell do I go find the girls that I want to have fun with that have a lot to lose? Like, there's not a website that says, find the rich her, right? Finder, I don't know what, Tinder, like,
Yeah.
How do I go link up with only girls that also have money, career, that have a lot to lose? How do I find them?
It's not even that you have to find somebody that has a lot to lose. It's just maybe show a little restraint, a little personal restraint. Nothing saying that you can't be in a relationship with a girl that maybe has nothing to lose. That's fine. But you've got to, when you're a public figure, it's not maybe fair, but you're going to have to reserve some of yourself until you can trust somebody and maybe not do the kinky role play and all this stuff. You might have to just kind of pull back yourself a little bit.
Trevor's not going to like that.
Well, I think he's learned his lesson now. I think he'd rather have his baseball career back.
Well,
and,
I think he didn't have the contract that Derek Jeter had in New York, allegedly, where Derek Jeter had a very tight contract that any girl that he would have fun with, I don't know if you've heard about the story. There's stories on this. And then at the end of the visit to his penthouse or whatever room was, they would get a gift bag, sign a ball, all this other stuff, they would leave. But his lawyer would have him, allegedly, sign a contract with girls before he had any kind of,
an NDA
relationship.
maybe?
Yeah. And Vinny, your thoughts on the story?
Well, first of all, Pat, the app that we were talking about, the app that we kind of came up with?
Yeah.
There needs to be an app called the consensual app where you're like, I'm this guy, you want to have sex? Make a video. I'm down to do it. Nothing. You can't sue me. Just something that's on the file. Because listen, at the end of the day, Shannon Sharpe, and I love him. And guys, I'm not judging him, but he's a victim of his own doing. Okay, this is what happens when you chase fame and flesh instead of purpose and discipline. Okay, and you think you're untouchable. That's what starts happening. And mind you, he's been vocal. You've seen him and Chad Ochocinco. Tell me when they're on the podcast, they're talking about chicks and girls and doing all that.
Ocho's a little bit more conservative than him.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds.
Seriously?
Oh, it's not even. He's in a relationship. It's way more conservative.
Okay, it's weird, but she makes a great point. It's when people are around you that have nothing to lose. That's what happens. And then you accidentally are on IG Live and you're hooking up with a girl, and it's like, listen, this isn't about cancel culture, Pat. It's about consequences. Okay, when you live that reckless life, eventually the mask slips off. Okay, you think you're in control, but you're not. Okay, and again, and I'm not being that guy, but I have to. I'm not judging him, but the closer you get to God, the less you're going to be doing this stupid hooking up, recording, doing this, and then all of a sudden it hits you in your face. How many more of these guys, you nailed it, are we going to see? How many big name, famous people, athletes, whatever, are going to get destroyed from one night?
Let's see what this guy's going to say.
I want to hear this.
He's got some of these friends that
Adam,
the NBA guys. Adam, what is your thought?
Well, listen, I was told to believe all women, and I was lied to, because turns out women, much like any other person, will lie sometimes.
What?
Yeah, they'll do it.
I don't believe it.
And especially when there's multi-millionaire celebrity athletes, politicians, producers, rappers, you fill in the blank, and you're just a young, pretty female. I've learned this, and we've seen this one happen. The right woman will turn a millionaire into a billionaire. The wrong woman will turn a millionaire into a brokey, just like that. And we're starting to see all the cracks in the charade of this Me Too movement, where it turns out a lot of these women were actually lying. So what happened with Trevor Bauer? Turns out she was full on lying. What happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Turns out she was the psychopath.
She was pooping on his bed.
Yeah. Turns out Andrew Tate, they've been throwing the book at this guy, 0 charges at this point. Donald Trump himself. How many women have accused Donald Trump of inappropriate sexual behavior? Has he been found guilty of anything other than that one weird lady with
the crazy one that said
with
I
Anderson
think rape's
Cooper,
a fantasy.
Russell Brand, Jared Leto, even Kevin Spacey, even Harvey Weinstein to a weird extent. Candace Owens out there, not that I found her with the highest credibility these days, has been basically saying maybe he's been accused of things that he didn't actually do. The reality is this: a lot of these women you can't trust. You talked about how do you find out a woman who's how did you put it?
Like a high worth individual.
Who has nothing to lose. Most women don't have anything to lose. Most of these women are just young and hot, period, full stop. The man has something to lose. So if you're a man, you need to solve for a woman with at least values. Because a lot of these guys are banging OnlyFans models, let's call it what it is, that are there for hire. And what do you expect to happen when you're a multimillionaire and some OnlyFans girl shows up? You think she has the moral clarity or the values and principles not to sue you? Remember what happened with Drake when he was hooking up with some random stripper girl? And then she found out he put hot sauce in the condom. Do you remember this story?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because this is what women will try to do to rich men. Men, use your big head, not your small head, or you're going to pay the price.
But it's not like by the way, to settle that lawsuit, she had to have some type of ground. Like we heard the audio of him allegedly saying, like, I'll slap that, whatever the hell it was. It's not like she didn't have any grounds to freaking get some money at him. Like if you heard some of those undercover, whatever, she leaked those tapes. It wasn't in the best light of him saying, like, I will go there and I will beat your ass or slap. I don't know what the hell the actual dialogue was, but it wasn't. What did he say, Rob? Well, if you say that word one more effing time,
I'm gonna choke
the shit out of you.
Well, my parting shot on this is we're living in a world of full documentation and cameras on every corner. That's a new world we live in. If you take a look at the book, ESPN, The Uncensored History, written by Michael Freeman, he talks about, and I'm not going to name the names, every one of the major, not everyone, almost all of the major anchors, big names who are allegedly raped an intern in a closet or allegedly roofied another intern. There were things that happened, but this is before everything was documented left, right, and center. This is before she's got, and listen to this text message, and listen to this, and listen to this voice note, and listen to this. All of that for Shannon Sharpe is out there. The public documentation there is what ESPN couldn't run away from and said, gosh, this is too hot with women. We can't, if we keep you, we're taking some sort of a stand against women. We can't do that. It's too hot. We can't do that. When in the past, people settled lawsuits and ESPN wrote checks, right, for their guys and at a different time. And they were still on the air with similar or worse situations.
Pat, let me ask you. We started talking about how Trump may pardon Diddy.
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? Look, something that is very real these days is trial by media and trial by social media. We all thought Diddy was the devil.
I mean,
turns out he was just a freaky, weird dude.
I mean,
what has he been found guilty of?
Nothing.
Prostitution.
Just because the lawyers and everybody didn't do the greatest job doesn't mean he's still not a piece of you know what.
He is a piece of shit.
He still is.
You're not guilty of being a piece of shit. If Trump pardons Diddy, what do you think the fallout will be of that?
Now, let me ask you a question. You just said a lot there in 20 seconds.
He interrupted.
But hang on a second.
Kind of jump from one story to another.
So do you think O.J. Simpson killed his wife?
O.J.?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with yes on that.
Oh, but where's the proof?
The second trial, civil it was.
Listen.
No, I'm asking him, Tom. I'm not asking you. So why?
OJ's
why,
out there before he died was still looking for the killer. All right.
But what I'm asking you is, did OJ kill his wife?
According to the courts, no. According to anyone with common sense, most likely yes.
Okay, so I'm asking you, not to the. I'm asking Adam Sosnick. What are you thinking? He did?
I'm going to go with most likely, yes.
Yes. Okay. Most likely, yes. Okay. So just
it was
because,
that stupid glove. The glove don't
some
quit.
of
They
the
must
stuff
have
happens with Diddy and stuff that he did. It doesn't mean there isn't protection and layers of protection by, a bunch of people that are financially involved and all this other stuff. This won't be the first time that's happened. This is a different story than what we talked about with Duke, lacrosse, all of that last week. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. What happens if he pardons Diddy? I think Trump is reached a point right now that he has increased his score of surprises so high with everybody that nobody, we, the audience, the voters are immune to what he does. Nothing will surprise anybody.
Yeah.
That's Trump. He's the most unpredictable president we've ever had. He's not a predictable president.
That's true.
You want to talk predictable? We had a lot of presidents that were predictable. Obama was predictable. Biden was predictable. A lot of presidents we had were predictable. This is the most unpredictable guy. He could, on the same day, pardon Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, God.
And people will say, what what just happened?
And the two of them are going to start a podcast.
And then they'll move on. But do I think he'll do it? I think if there's anybody capable of pardoning Diddy, it's probably Trump. It's probably Trump if he does it.
But what would be the like? And I agree 1,000%. Even me, somebody's been following him since voting for him 3 times since 2016. What the hell is he doing sometimes? But if he pardons Diddy, who's a convicted 2-time felon with counts of transporting women across state lines for prostitution and all the other counts that were dropped. And by the way, James Comey's daughter was the prosecutor. She's fired. Whatever. And then floating Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving the 20 years for, what was her? Enticing minors, conspiracy to transport minors, and transporting minors with the intent to engage in illegal sexual acts. Like, what is, if, because he said, Pat, the article was the White House is seriously considering doing that. I don't know about surprises or anything, but that is some wild stuff. Ghislaine Maxwell, if Ghislaine's going to come out and she's testifying, she's going to talk in front of people.
It should not surprise you if he does that. I want to hear Tommy's thoughts, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Go ahead, Tommy.
I don't get the political calculation of that. He's not running again, so maybe he just does what he wants to do. There's been a lot of questions about some of the pardons that Trump has issued, though. The Chrisley family kind of being one. It was like, oh. And there were some others that were not as high profile that when you look into them, you go, why would you do that? Like, it's a little weird. But the thing about President Trump, and I'm sure you know this as well, if he feels that somebody has been railroaded by the justice system, the way he feels like he has been, he has a soft spot for those people. Now, Diddy ended up walking away getting very little. So I think let him serve out what's probably going to be a very short sentence and probably pretty much nothing. I say let him serve what he needs to serve. I don't see the political calculation for Trump there. Now, maybe for Trump, it's like, well, I feel like he was railroaded and I feel like it was unfair to him. In his heart, he would make that decision. I don't think it's probably the right one, given Diddy didn't get much time anyway. And the thing about the Diddy thing that's still going to get stuck in people's craw here is the Cassie video. Mm-hmm. Everything else, it's the salacious text messages and the freak-offs and all that's gross. That video, though, not good.
Oh, the video's disgusting. Well, listen, you're an attractive woman. I assume you've had your, creepy men kind of saying, hey, how you doing? Other than that video with Cassie, disgusting, despicable. Anyone with a moral compass will condemn that. What has Diddy really done to deserve what he's dealing with right now?
What does that sound, Rob?
Sorry, it's my speakers.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What has Diddy done outside of this?
I'll tell you this. Now, this is just again, the court of public opinion, which isn't always fair. When you watch that video and you watch the way he treated her, that doesn't look like one moment of rage. That looks like somebody who probably does that quite often. So he barely got any, with the convictions that he actually got. It's so minimal anyway. I don't see Trump pardoning him I don't think he's going to do much time. Let's put it that way. That video, though, in the court of public opinion, doesn't look like someone who's a first-timer.
No, listen, again, disgusting, despicable behavior. Other than that, what has he done that has been really that bad?
What I'm saying is that shows that you have a pattern of behaving that way.
But you can't, I don't know, I'm no legal scholar. You can't be found guilty of,
and he wasn't.
Maybe you could have done it.
And he wasn't, but that's why he didn't get found guilty of all those other things.
That's my point.
And the sentence is so minimal. But what he actually did get charged for, it's pretty indisputable he did those things, at least, okay? So why would Trump pardon him for the minimal charges that he's already been convicted on when, again, for Trump, you have to make a political calculation. You don't want to be standing in the corner of somebody who might be a habitual abuser, at least by what we're seeing in that video. My perspective is you're not a first-time abuser.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly that Trump, there's no upside to doing this. He's not running for re-election. This isn't like something that people are campaigning against. But he does have a soft spot for people who might have been wrongly accused. What was the whole thing he did with Kim Kardashian back in 2018, the criminal justice
the First
reform?
Step Act,
The First Step Act. So clearly Trump knows what it feels like to be wrongfully accused. And probably people think Trump is like this monster robotic person. He's a human. And I think a lot of things have changed, especially after he almost lost his life. I wouldn't be surprised if he did things just because he felt like it.
Yeah, here's what I would tell you. With the pattern of what Trump's got, go to his pattern. He sided with Tyson. He sided with Michael Jackson. He sided with a lot of different people. That is the position that was the opposite position of what everybody else was taking. He's been doing this for many years. And Do you remember when Trump went and helped Ramos out? Where was Ramos stuck in? Was he stuck in Venezuela? He was stuck.
Jorge Ramos.
Where was Jorge Ramos stuck in? Like in Trump's first term, where Trump went and got him out, and Ramos was forced to say thank you to him.
Was that Puerto Rico? What was that?
Do you remember that, Rob, or no?
I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah, if you look it up, I think Ramos was stuck somewhere. Could have been Venezuela. Could have been somewhere. And then Trump came out and said, "You better release him, or else." And then they released him. And Jorge Ramos, which in 2015 was extremely, extremely critical of him, came back and defended Trump. And Trump, the guy that was constantly going after him, all of a sudden flipped and started defending Trump. And he had nothing bad to say about him because it's an emotional thing. You saved my life. You got me out of this. There it is. That's the one. So he was detained in Venezuela. So during the Venezuela confiscated escorting early next time. Okay. Yeah, there was something that happened that Trump helped him out where he came and helped him out. What happens if this guy gives Diddy a pardon? What does Diddy do? Does Diddy come and become a conservative Republican MAGA the next day? Probably not. Does he gain a little bit more the vote of people that have been wrongly jailed and all that? Maybe. Are those voters, is he getting, like you said, he's not running again, so I don't know what the motive of this being done. Or maybe he's just trying to change the conversation and let the market talk and not be paying attention to this. Who knows? Maybe the attention goes off of Epstein and goes to Diddy.
Distraction.
Who knows? But let's go to the story with Fox News. Trump says Wall Street Journal wants to settle defamation lawsuit. Okay? And Rob, I think you got this video somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm going to go read. Go for it.
This is short, just so you know, just audio. This is from Air Force One.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they want to settle it. He's treated us wrong. I mean, when I get treated unfairly, I do things about it. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, so it doesn't say much. And then on the other video clip, Rob, overwhelming good cause exists to expedite. Trump wants to put Murdoch under oath right away after filing massive defamation suit against WSJ over Jeffrey Epstein's report. The letter, Trump lawyer Alejandro Brito filed a motion on Monday demanding that billionaire Rupert Murdoch, owner of Wall Street Journal, sit for a deposition within 15 days, citing Murdoch's age and health, stating the 94-year-old has suffered from multiple health issues throughout his life, is believed to have suffered recent significant health scares, and is presumed to live in New York. The motion argues that there's good cause to expedite Murdoch's deposition, and the court should exercise its discretion to authorize the same as Trump sues the Journal over a report claiming it composed a 50th birthday card for sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. So, what's going to happen here, Tommy? What's going to happen with this story? Oh, by the way, are you a full-time employee?
Yeah,
you are.
I sure am.
Okay,
So there's not a whole lot I'm going to comment on this one. I'm going to have to leave it to you guys.
Okay. So what's going to happen here? Tom, your thoughts on this one?
Well, they're trying to claim that with Rupert's. So what do you do when you sue somebody? If you really believe that there's something there, you want to get to what's called discovery and deposition, D&D. You want depositions so you can ask them questions. You ask them questions, the way you answer those questions, you can get judges to look at the deposition and to say, well, the document they were talking about here where you kind of took the fifth and everything, I'm going to call that admissible evidence. And I'm going to say that is a permissible discovery. It's a wrestling match. And so what Trump's lawyer wants, we want a deposition with Rupert Murdoch as quickly as possible. If you're Murdoch, you don't want that as quickly as possible because depositions lead to discovery and lead to documents. So the other side for Trump, Rupert's guys are going to say, well, we got this birthday card and we got some other things here. And if you want those to come out, go for it. So it ends up being this chess game where someone says, oh, really? So you want to come depose us? Well, we may put some other articles out there for public inspection when we go into court, unless they decide to seal those things. And what Trump is trying to do here is push hard through his lawyer in Florida, Alejandro Brito, I believe. And he is the guy that's saying, hey, let's get the deposition right now. Because what they want the media covering Rupert walking up the steps to some office building where there will be, a stenographer and everybody there for the deposition. There'll be a little circus outside. What'd you say in the deposition, sir? What was going on there? And that's what Trump wants. And Trump wants to get further into discovery. He's like, I dare you. And so this is Trump's part of pushing for a settlement. And then Rupert comes back and says, listen, we don't want to do this. Well, I'm not going to drop my suit. And usually where it goes is you have to settle or silence, where everybody agrees for it to go away or there's a settlement. And this is what Trump did for 60 minutes. And he kept banging that drum and he kept pushing hard. And ultimately, CBS blinked. Now, never mind all the people that said that that was really a bribe so that they would approve the Skydance deal, right? So
here's what Michael Wolff says about the strategy. Go ahead and play it. This is the biographer of Michael Wolff. Here's what he had to say.
But Trump and his people, his lawyers are, you have to give them give them their due here. They're quite an incredible opponent and a clever opponent. And their approach now is that they have asked the court to expedite the deposition of Rupert Murdoch on the basis that he is 94 years old and that he might die at any minute and they won't get a chance to depose him. And that is quite possibly very true. And at the same time, they recognize that no one, certainly in the Murdoch organization, is going to want to put a 94-year-old under oath. And the White House now regards that as a leverage toward a settlement. But there is another aspect of this that is hopeful, maybe, which is to say that the Murdoch people are now in a position to ask the same thing of Donald Trump, essentially to demand the same thing. Here is an overweight man who is almost 80 years old, who too might go at any moment.
Oh, stop it.
So can the Murdoch people force Donald Trump into a deposition? Let's realize the deposition might well be the key to understand.
Adam, thoughts?
So, you know what might sink Trump? Nothing. In 2016, he says, I could shoot someone in Fifth Avenue. I wouldn't lose a vote. I believe Trump. Trump's going nowhere. This is just another nonsensical story that they're dragging from the dirt in 2003 that he wrote, that he scribbled some, crude image of a lady and some alleged fake conversation with him and Jeffrey Epstein. I know your secrets. Me too. Love you. Happy birthday. What do we think happened? Now, let's say he's guilty of writing that letter. He did it. We got him. Now what? You're guilty of writing a birthday letter to a creepy dude 20-something years ago? I don't understand the outcome here. Do they actually think this is going to bring down his presidency? I'll say this one other thing. Does anybody have more credibility these days in journalism than the Wall Street Journal? I think they're doing great. I think Wall Street Journal is a very credible news outlet. I read them all the time. We talk about them all the time. So something's going to give. Either they're completely fumbled the bag here and they're lying, or Trump is what? Guilty of writing a cartoon to a weirdo? I don't understand the outcome here. You tell me.
You know what it is, Adam? This is what was earlier in the week. What did we talk about with Scott Jennings? Just the left in general, Wall Street Journal, all these people, they are just cooked. They have nothing. Like they're grasping.
You saying this is what they got,
Adam?
But this isn't the left. No, this is Wall Street Journal. Is probably a center-right conservative.
Wall Street Journal.
Where's Wall Street Journal is a
center-right.
I would say center-right.
Oh, for sure.
Certainly common sense.
It's absolutely.
But the relationship with Rupert Murdoch is what? Is what with Donald Trump?
So the question is Rupert Murdoch in his last breaths of life trying to basically take down Donald Trump?
I mean,
is that the question?
I would even ask and say, how involved was Rupert Murdoch in them writing this article about the letter? I think it's less than 1%. Dude, what are you involved in when you're 94 years old, married to how old is this new girl? She's in her 20s. Do you know how much energy you need to conserve to at least make her happy?
She's not his age, I can guarantee that.
How old? No, I'm not trying to be. I'm actually being very serious. I'm not. How old is she?
I agree.
She's 67
She's
years
a
old.
ripe, young 67.
To him, that's like. By the way, that's 26.
Him.
That's a 26-year difference. That's like you being 44 dating a 18-year-old. Okay,
Let's not.
That's not as if we don't know anybody
21
like
plus.
that. Yeah, but the moral. I don't even think he knows what's going on with the story. Zero.
Murdoch?
I don't think he's involved. No, I don't think he's involved. I don't think there's a level. This is 7 generations away from him of being involved, like layers. Chairman, CEO, CMO, division, right here. Okay, and maybe the C-suite executives know about it. I don't know if Murdoch knew about this, but I understand what Trump's all about. You go after him, he's got to come for your throat, and that's what he's doing. What ends up happening out of this? Nobody has a clue. I will tell you though. Do we have the Ghislaine Maxwell story of what she said that she doesn't want to do anything unless if she gets her terms? I don't know if we put that in here, Rob, at all. I know. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Full immunity.
I see it on page 17. So I don't know if you saw this or not. So Ghislaine Maxwell request for immunity is in exchange for testimony denied in stunning twist. All right. What is the stunning twist? She threatens to dodge Epstein question unless demands are made. What are these demands by Ghislaine Maxwell? Is this our friend Rob that's breaking it down?
Yes, Caitlin Collins was in the courthouse when the court received the letter of the demands from the attorneys.
Okay, go for it.
Traveling to Washington today, and we just got word on Ghislaine Maxwell's response to that congressional subpoena seeking her testimony. Her attorneys have just sent a letter to the House Oversight Chair, James Comer, saying initially they were just going to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights, but they say now that they are willing to cooperate if, and this is a huge if, some big demands are met. One, that includes her being granted formal immunity for her testimony, so she can't be prosecuted for anything she says. Secondly, they'd like for this interview to take place outside of the correctional facility where she's currently serving her 20-year sentence. And they say that in order to prepare for this deposition, and given the volume of materials that she'd have to sort through beforehand, that she needs the questions written and in advance from the committee before she would go and answer them. They say in this letter that surprise questioning, in their view, would be, quote, unproductive. They also say that any testimony that she would give would have to happen after her fight with the Supreme Court over her conviction. Right now, she's appealing that conviction, and this is something that could go on for months, meaning if that testimony is going to happen, it could be quite some time before it even occurs. However, that immunity demand is a big one because we heard from the House Oversight Chair, James Comer, who said he didn't think it would be likely that anyone would want to grant immunity to someone who has been convicted of child sex trafficking.
Okay, so what do you think is going on here with her making those requests? Are those fair requests?
I think for her, she sees a great silver lining in this because it's back in the news and she's like, hey, listen, I might get a deal here. I would also say, though, if you had all this information, why didn't you make a deal the first time before you got your 20 years? Again, I understand why there's such an eye on the Epstein files. I understand that some people have made careers for the last at least 5, 6, 7 years on Epstein and the conspiracy around it. I get that. For me personally, I understand the intrigue. Everyone loves a conspiracy theory, but there are children and teens and young girls being trafficked right now, and I wish there was as much energy and attention given to that. Maybe the 300,000 migrant children that we are still trying to track down from the Biden years and what have you. Maybe a little bit more energy on that rather than the people that are just trying to influence peddle for clicks and content, and the influencers who are so dug into this because it's become their lifeblood. I find that a little annoying.
I'm with Tommy on this one.
Yeah, but Tommy, do you think that there should be accountability? Because, I mean, she's in prison for 20 years for conspiracy, sex trafficking, minors. She's guilty.
Yeah.
Where are the customers? Where are all these people, all these big names that we all know? Bill Clinton was one of the most prolific, flying on Lolita Express, going to the island. And I get exactly what you're saying. I'm all for, Pat always talks about the hill that you would die on or the sword you fall on. I'm for the kids. At the end of the day, if it's Gaza and those children that are dying and starving, I think we're going to get there, to the women that are still in front of cameras today saying, Ghislaine is a freaking demon as well. Epstein did this, and the victims are out there. We have to have accountability, or else it's never going to stop. And those 300,000 kids at our border, they found 10,000. But let's not forget, Ghislaine is a freaking sex trafficking underage girl minor, and her other victim. This is one of her victims,
Let's
Sarah
stay on
Ransom.
this real quick.
Okay,
We're gonna go.
I'll stay here.
I want to go to this. First thing I want to do is the immunity part.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And trust me, we're going to go to this because she makes a very good point. And the reason why I say she makes a very good point is the same argument that Adam makes when Adam says, what about the Syrians? Why are you so worried about Gaza? How come you don't talk about what they did to the Syrians? Why is it only about what Israel does? Okay, it's a good argument to give both sides, and I actually appreciate the fact that she said that. But the question I'm asking here is the following. Her lawyer's coming out asking for immunity, asking for protection. I'm willing to come out and say everything and anything you want to know. I want to do it offsite. I want to be able to do it after my ruling, which is going to take months, probably 4 months from now. Tom, I want to know from you that position that she is taking to be able to talk. Okay? Are you comfortable with what the requests are being made by the lawyer?
Well, I'm not going to give her if I'm a U.S. prosecutor handling this, I'm not going to give her immunity. I'm not.
You wouldn't give her immunity?
No, and I'll tell you why. Tommy said it. It's like, wait a minute. So do we believe the conspiracy that there's a lot of powerful people and that if you gave up names and got immunity at your first trial, that your life would be in danger afterwards? Right? The same thing people are saying about Diddy. When Diddy gets out, people are going to die. People are saying that. Social media is all over that. And there's people that are saying, I wonder what's going to happen to these witnesses. So now you've got that. You say, well, I couldn't. So my question is, okay, well, what changed? Mm-hmm. What changed from a couple years ago where, if I gave up names, my life would be in danger? Okay, well, what's the difference then versus now? You give up a couple names for immunity. Is your life still in danger? Did they pass away? Are you no longer concerned about that? So the whole immunity thing really stinks for me because you should have cut your deal at the beginning. And let me tell you, if you know anything about the prosecutorial, efforts of the FBI and things, they settle more than they go to trial.
Okay, Tom, do me a favor.
And what they do is they settle because you take a plea, you take the time, and you turn someone else in.
Negotiate with me. You're the government. I'm representing her, okay? I'm going to understand if Sammy the Bull was involved in the murder of 19 different people, his lawyer was able to negotiate that you're going to do a surgery on my face so people will not recognize my face. You're going to give me protection. Nothing's going to happen to me. I will tell you anything and everything you want with all the other mobsters and what happened, but you got to give me full-on protection. In exchange, I'll talk. They gave it to him, okay? And the government got the information to go and do what they wanted to do, right? In a situation like this, what would you ask me? I'm Ghislaine. I'm her lawyer. What do you want from us?
What do I want? I'm the U.S. government.
You're the U.S. government lawyer. Negotiate with me.
Say, listen. Do you want a partially reduced sentence for cooperation? Because I'll give you that, but I'm not going to give you immunity from further charges if you self-incriminate. I can't do that. No one's going to do that. No one's said, we already have you. You're a skin on our wall. You're already in prison.
Then I'm not talking.
Okay. Don't talk. Then why did you bring this up?
No, you guys are interested. No, wait a minute. You brought it to me. I didn't ask it. You brought it to me. You're asking me. I'm not asking you for it. You guys came to me saying that now you want to find out what happened and you want me to talk to the DOJ.
Did the feds went to her?
Yes, they did. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I jump in? Can I be a lawyer with Tom?
Can you be a lawyer?
Okay. Are you ready, Mr. Epstein?
But I want you to have his position.
Oh, no, I do want to. Okay, he doesn't want any immunity. You don't want zero immunity.
I want zero immunity.
Okay, ready for this? If you want, because he wanted to give you half the time.
Yes.
I'll give you immunity.
Okay.
But we're not giving you the questions in advance so you can practice and get ready. Number one, full immunity, and we'll give you some protection. You are going to be in front of a camera, depose. We're going to ask you everything to quell all this conspiracy crap with everything. You have to be connected to a lie detector. I have to know live if you're full of shit or you're telling the truth.
But is that admissible in court?
It's not in court. In a deposition for us to see. She doesn't even want to be in court. She's going to be outside. We'll take her out of the jail. We want you hooked up so we know that you're not lying.
Tommy, I'll come to you. What do you want? If you're representing the government, what do you want from this conversation with Ghislaine in return? What are you trying to find out?
I think they want names. Yep. But it's hard for me to believe that they don't already have names.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd also say this. we know how this would go down, whether they cut a deal with her or not. It's Trump's DOJ. So they're going to say, regardless, oh, well, Trump's DOJ cut a deal with her, so of course she's not going to say Trump. So even if she doesn't say Trump, they're going to say, well, she didn't say Trump because Trump's DOJ gave her a deal. Yep. So the media is going to, it all comes back to nobody's ever going to give this up that wants to go after Trump for it. They're never going to give it up. You can talk to this woman till the cows come home. It does not matter. They're going to say, well, she's not saying anything because Trump's cutting her a deal. Doesn't matter. I say leave her ass in there for 20 years. Epstein is dead. The DOJ, you really messed up with those influencers on the step with those stupid binders. You made a mockery of trafficked victims, and that was stupid, and you should apologize for that. And you should be as transparent as you possibly can. But you're not getting anything out of this woman.
You don't think you are?
No. And it doesn't, even if you did, they would still say, well, you made her deal, and so they're going to always think that a backroom deal was cut so that people were spared.
The liberal media will do it this way. Says, well, he didn't pardon her from his desk. He pardoned her through the Justice Department.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what I just said. Yeah.
Yep.
So with the media, is there anything you could do? First of all, screw the media and what they're going to say. Let's forget about the media and the podcasters and the influencers, whatever. They don't matter. What I'm asking you right now is the people that voted you in, that this is something they were interested in, and let's actually solve for the truth. If we want the truth, do you think there's any way you can structure this to get the truth from Ghislaine Maxwell?
If there's no lie detector test, no. You're not going to get how are you going to take her word? And she made a good point. Then it's going to be, I would hook her up to lie detector test, Pat, and ask 3 major questions. Was Donald Trump a customer with Jeffrey Epstein? No. Perfect. Then get to the big names. Was Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, any of these people? Because we need somebody. Give us one person. That's not going to shut us up. It will quell us for a little while. Get the major questions. Who are the big names? That list that everybody talks about. Hook her ass up. Name. Yeah. No. Yes.
The danger.
That's it. It's easy.
The danger in this is you give her immunity, and she said, "Yeah, there was this congressional candidate in Georgia, Fred Sims, and that's all I recall."
Bingo. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I got immunity for nothing.
So, Vinny, you want names. That's what it comes down
Adam,
to.
I think the majority of the people that are out there that are even watching this, 1,000%, because I want the accountability. That's it. I've been saying this for freaking 6 months. Accountability. Give us one at least.
Let me ask you one simple question. I know Pat probably wants to move on. What happens if she lie detector test? There it is. She's like, look, it was all just me and Jeffrey. All these other people just came.
Adam, good.
But would you be happy with that? Would you accept her answer?
If she passed,
if she's like, look, Bill Clinton never.
If she passes a lie detector test on everybody, then I'll be like, okay, she did her. By the way, we made the deal. Okay, we made the deal. We're true to Adam. I would bet my life it's not just her and Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know who was behind it. Was it Mossad or CIA? That's the third question. Mossad, who was behind all those cameras and where's all the footage? Who has it?
She's like, there was none of
them.
it.
Then Adam, then guess what? Then if there's no crime, move the fuck.
By the way, let me ask you a question. This Michael Wolff, who has how many hours of footage?
I think 100, Robbie.
And then Steve Bannon's got 14 to 15 hours.
Steve Bannon has 14.
So the Michael Wolff has 100 hours where he reveals a lot of things that no one's been wanting to buy from him.
Yes.
Right? How much is he asking for? Do we know a number, Rob, of what he's asking for? How much money is he willing to sell that for? And how are we going to know if we're going to get the whole footage without him editing a couple parts of it?
My friend Alan's been talking about this for freaking weeks.
Okay.
About this guy.
So that's one question. I'm hearing he's got 100 hours. 1 minute. No, this isn't it, Rob. How many total hours does he have?
No, that's a jailhouse.
Yeah, that's a jailhouse. Yeah. I'm asking how many hours. And then you got Bannon's got 14 to 15 hours, 15 to 16 hours, which that one, apparently Michael Wolff, when he sat down with Epstein told him that the 15 to 16 hours with Bannon is Bannon prepping Epstein for media training. That's what apparently Michael Wolff claims that Epstein told him. But he says Epstein said a lot of things about Trump and his friendship in the video on the 100 hours. If the number is right, I would buy the 100 hours just to watch it myself. I got 100 hours of watching Jeffrey Epstein. I would pay $100 million just to watch it myself. 100 hours just to watch it myself and see how much. Has he put a price on it or no?
I can't find anything on a price, but I can confirm 100 hours of recorded interviews with Epstein, primarily during 2017.
Can you ask, has Michael Wolff asked for how much money for the 100 hours? How much money does Michael Wolff want for the 100 hours of Epstein footage?
Let's play Make a Deal.
What is the number? I'm curious. Rob, have we invited Michael Wolff at all to be on the podcast?
We're in touch with his book publisher right now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what happens there. Okay. All right.
Not
well,
offering
listen,
it.
nothing yet. He said people have made offers. Apparently, he wants life-changing money. By the way, no one's going to care about this in about a year or two because how long it's going to take to come back up. The peak is going to be now. If he's interested, maybe he's got an interested buyer here if the number makes sense. If it's out of control, ridiculous, we're moving on. But I would just want to watch 100 hours myself for shits and giggles to see what that
This could be your new
sounds like.
Squid Games, PBD.
Oh, that Squid Games is something else. Whoever came up with that, they have mental issues. That is a very weird. You completely threw me off with that.
So you just said something very important. You think that this story with Epstein is here today, gone tomorrow, and a year from now?
Unless, because who's going to be the next president? What's J.D. Vance linked
Trump
to Epstein?
again.
No. What's J.D. Vance linked to Epstein? What's the chances Hillary's going to? What's the chance someone's going to be getting elected that is tied to Epstein? They're all going to be in their 40s and 50s. Are we going to get a 78-year-old president? Who's a 78-year-old candidate right now? Nancy Pelosi's going to run. Who's going to run? Mitch McConnell's going to run.
Bernie Sanders.
Everybody that's running in 2020. Can you go to the 2028?
Joe Biden's going to run it back.
Matter of fact, he would crush. But if you go to
Hunter Biden, the remix.
The list of 2028. The list of 2028 presidential hopeful. Okay, so this is who? Hawaii?
NBC News.
That guy needs to shave.
Yeah, he does.
By the way, did you see Kristen? What was that CNN Kristen something's name?
Kristen Welker.
Those eyebrows are massive.
Oh, Caitlin Collins.
Caitlin Collins.
Oh, they're caterpillars. They're like two caterpillars fighting to get to her ears.
Listen, guys, let's not body shame anybody.
I'm not saying anything.
Got
It's just
eyebrows.
those
Solid.
Eastern. Guys, I can say that
got
I'm
strong
Middle
brows.
Eastern.
Yeah.
We braid our
Strong
eyebrows.
I got to
So
trim these things every week.
Rob, can you
Can
go
I
back
see those
to
eyebrows?
Go to
Caitlin is such a
2028.
good teleprompter reader. Boy, best ever.
She's Rob. Can you? Do we have any names of seeing what the
I thought they just came out.
Poly market names?
JD was number
JD
one.
Vance.
How old is he? In his 40s.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nobody linked
There's
to
nobody
Epstein
left.
in the yeah.
I think
Not
after
that age.
2028, I'm telling you, it's like, what's his name? Kaiser Sose. Boom. All of a sudden he disappeared.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
But the greatest trick that the
Never
devil
see
ever
him
pulled was convince
ever
you he
again.
didn't exist.
This is it. So Michael Wolff only has like a couple-month window of having people that are truly interested in that
You're
100
right.
hours.
You're
Or
right.
else it is gone, Michael.
Buyer's market.
Here's a buyer
This is
talking
it.
to you.
Michael, don't fall for it. He's trying to get you a low-ball price.
I am.
You hold out straight
I don't know.
Michael
I'm
Wolff
telling
out
you
your
right
mouth.
now, I'm not paying a lot. But
I
if
don't want you to
wanna
pay anything,
cash,
BBD.
I'll pay you some. I want to see that 100 hours, but
I'll give you $100 right now, Michael Wolff. Make a
it
deal.
better have. If it's 100 hours of Epstein, I would buy that and have the team monitor, take notes, everything, study it, and go to the main 82 parts of the 100 hours.
PBD, I'll
see
talk
what
to
he
my
said.
friends at the Mossad. We'll get you.
Go,
No
Adam,
problem.
make the
I got
text.
you. I got
Get
you.
on your
Call
signal
APAC,
chat.
buddy. Okay,
Finally,
I'm gonna get
Adam
to the next
admits it.
story. I'm going to get to the next
Everybody
story.
knows.
Next story. All right. Next story I want to get to is, do I want to go to that one? Let's go to this one here. The Fed holds rates steady for the fifth time this year, but some officials think it's the wrong call, okay? So this is President Trump's best friend for the last week. They've been kicking it together, all right? They've been looking at properties of spending $3.1 billion on it.
Of course.
Patting each other in the back.
Hard.
Finally we saw a little bit of Powell's personality by putting his tongue out. Did you see when he did that or no?
No, he stuck his tongue
Very
out.
awkward. But you saw the child side of him. He acted like a 12-year-old. It was interesting. First time ever. Here's Powell giving some good news to nobody.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on
Not your
achieving
colleagues,
our
just
dual
say you.
mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Despite heightened uncertainty, the economy is still in a solid position. The unemployment rate remains low, and the labor market is at or near maximum employment. Inflation has come down a great deal, but has been running somewhat above our 2% longer run objective. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. The risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation appear to have risen, and we believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments.
Okay, so let's
Listen,
go
I'm not
to
an
this.
economist by a long shot,
Yeah.
but he just said we are kicking ass. Everything looks good. but
Yeah.
you never know. Shit might hit the fan, so to hell with all of you. Is that a right angle?
You know, a part of me is so happy he's not lowering interest rates.
Why?
Do you know why?
Why?
Okay.
But was I right for my assessment of what he just said?
But listen, he could have said this in 5 seconds. We are not lowering the
Peace
rates.
out.
Done,
Slap somebody in the back.
Yeah. And maybe he could have added, screw you, Trump, like
And
something
stick
like
his
that.
tongue out.
Stick his tongue out, right? Which is really what he wants
Orange
to do.
man.
But you know, part of me hopes he holds out for the rest of the year.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Because to me, I would love for rates to not be lower till 2026. Why? Because I believe 2026 is going to be the greatest year of our lifetime.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
U.S. 250th birthday.
Yep.
Trump turns 80.
Yep.
World Cup's coming here.
Holy moly.
And someone's going to have to keep lowering interest rates. Market's going to go bam.
Oh, wow.
Money's going to be made in every way. Dow record every day. S&P record, Dow record, NASDAQ record Bitcoin record. It's going to be all of that whole. Powell, keep it going, buddy. Keep doing what you're doing. Because by 26, someone's going to lower the rates. And when they do, it's going to be boom, like this. The day the announcement's made when they lower the rates, market's going to skyrocket. I just hope it's not till 2026. And by the way, to my real estate friends, don't come slashing my tires. Don't come protesting outside of our office. I'm telling you right now. And no, I'm not buying a house right now from you. Okay, so don't call me. All I'm telling you is I want the story. And I think the story for 2026 is going to be awesome. Powell, keep it going, buddy. Please. Tom, your thoughts on this, and then Tommy, I'll come to you.
Well, what was really funny, I was talking to somebody and watching it live yesterday, and I immediately tweeted out as soon as I heard him say that. And I turned to the person that was in my office, and I said, did you hear that? Did you hear that click? What's that? The minute he said rates stable, I heard a click. You know what it was? Trump hit caps lock. I said, stand by. We're gonna get tweets overnight. But what's interesting?
Did he actually tweet about it or no?
I have not seen.
He truth socialed this morning.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you find that? An idiot and a moron.
Did he?
And,
He did?
The worst
So Tom,
there you go.
was it in all caps?
Stand by.
Tommy, was it all caps? Do you know?
I think there were
don't
some
know.
caps in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was truth social this morning.
Oh, there he is.
He is too late. Oh,
There we go.
Stupid.
So I was prepping for podcasts and I didn't see that one first thing in the morning.
Too angry, too stupid, and
Too
too political.
All caps. So I was right. So what's very interesting is there were some people out there that felt there should have been a cut now. Most notably, folks at Schwab. Schwab published a paper yesterday that said, look, the pace of consumer spending has slowed, job openings have slowed, and we are seeing bulk layoffs. Microsoft said that have a reconstitution. We're reconstitutioning our workforce with AI. 9,000 people were laid off. I believe it's 3 weeks ago with Microsoft. So Schwab was saying, there's data out there that says that perhaps the economy could use it right now. And what was interesting, there were two dissenters, one more prominent than the other. The two dissenters that said they disagreed, that they thought a quarter point now, were on the Fed committee, and it was Christopher Waller and Michelle Bowman. Now, Michelle Bowman is more significant. You know why? Because Christopher Waller is known and has been leaking and speaking to friends, allegedly. And Christopher, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to upset you, but your name's been put in the hat by proxies and people around you. You'd like to be the next chair of the Fed. And we all know why, because you're serving us very, very well as part of the Fed. You're a smart person, and you're like, hey, I'd like that next job. That's completely normal. So people kind of discounted Waller. Well, Waller's trying to do that to lean with Trump. Now, who knows if that's the case, or Waller just really believes the economy could use a quarter point cut, perhaps. But Michelle Bowman to come out and say, hey, I do think the economy is ready for a quarter point cut, I thought that was very significant. And the CME FedWatch tool, which I watch a lot, and I also keep my eye on what's called the dot plot. And for those of you scoring at home, these are just tools for people who are monitoring the Fed, and I do it and talk about it so you don't have to. The FedWatch tool says we have a 68% chance now of a 25 basis point cut in September, and another 65% chance of a 25% cut in December. And the dot plot is going to be updated right now. I think it's stuck on its May update. That's where it is. And then, And now CME has got a couple different audiences that it tracks, and there's an audience that Rob just put up that thinks there's a 60% chance. So that's what's going on. Now, people talk about mortgages a lot. Affordability in housing is tied to the price of that house because the price you pay dictates the property tax, and property taxes have gone way up for consumers since 2021-22 because the price of the house went up. Then to ensure that, your homeowner's insurance goes up because you're insuring a more valuable property. But people are forgetting, so interest rates can help unthaw the market, but you also have the Trump budget needs these rates to come down for the interest on the debt, which is in the Trump budget. Also, Kelly Loeffler's been doing a very good job at SBA with her team. She needs the interest rates to come down because she's got money that she wants to loan out to small business now on more favorable rates with more favorable programs for small business America. And the Trump administration is trying to get that out. So for everybody that says, oh, BizDoc, you go on and on like this, the home values are making it expensive. Home values are part of affordability. I get it. Property taxes, insurance, I get it. But the interest rates is sort of the entry cost to get in there, and that will help thaw it. But there's other things that are going on there that are very important to the administration that they want the rates to come down.
What do you think about the story?
Well, I'll tell you this. I understand why President Trump is frustrated, and I think he let it be known. Total loser, and our country is paying the price. President Trump hates to see America in any way lose or what he feels is losing. Everything under his control is America winning right now economically. They said the tariffs were going to cause some kind of apocalypse. That didn't happen. Real wages up, GDP up. Things are looking good. They said when we started deporting illegal aliens that we weren't going to have a workforce and that everything was going to collapse. No one was going to pick the vegetables. Okay, that has yet to happen. Trump's instincts have been correct. This is the last thing where he's like, I got the big, beautiful bill. I'm given no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security. Now I need this. This is the final piece of the puzzle, and it frustrates him, and I get it. I love your optimism about 2026, by the way. I think that's great. We can hold on till then, I think, but I understand Trump's frustration. And to your point, the small businesses that are like, things are looking good. We want to expand. We want to hire more. We're so excited right now. They're chomping at the bit to get going, and President Trump wants to see that for them. So it's frustrating for him, but I think it's a game of chicken, and Powell doesn't want to be the one who caves to Trump.
Right, and costing our country trillions of dollars. That's the interest on the debt that's part of the Trump budget.
Yeah, Adam.
So there's so much conversation about Trump being a dictator. Trump's an authoritarian, and he's going to be a king. He can't even control his own appointed Fed chairman. Let's not forget about that. For all the people out there that think that Trump is just some authoritarian dictator, he can't even convince the person that he put in place as the Fed chairman to lower rates, even after calling him out, calling him a loser, calling him stupid, calling him too late, saying that he's the worst person for the job. This is why I love America, because Jerome Powell will look at Trump and be like, yeah, I don't really care what you have to say, buddy. I actually respect that. I actually love that. Do I think that it's time to lower interest rates? Possibly. You know, the Fed has two main jobs: to cool inflation, which is at 2.7%. Their target rate is 2%, and to keep America working and make sure that the unemployment basically stays where it is right now. Don't look now, but America's doing pretty damn good. All the talk in the spring about America going into recession, that conversation's over. Stock market's at basic all-time high. Bitcoin at all-time high. GDP per capita, incredible. Strong dollar. Consumer confidence. The VIX is very low. The Fed fund rate right now is at 4.5%. Prime rate's at 7.5%. The United States economy is the envy of the world. And I think Jerome Powell, as much as Trump hates him, kind of knows what he's doing. I just don't know if this is personal, political, or if it's just straight economic. But we'll wait and see what happens in September, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, to me, even though Tom is saying there's two more, the 65% chance September, and bless you, and one more in December, I'm hoping it's just one instead of two. And the president has to realize he's going to be president for 3.5 more years, okay?
Closer to 3 years now, sir.
I know, but it's still 3 years and 5 months. But he's going to be in there for nearly 3.5 more years. Mm-hmm. Midterms are not till when?
November.
Okay, so imagine they do only one rate cut in December, and then the market goes off in the year of midterms, record-breaking guess what's going to happen with House? Guess what's going to happen with flipping some seats? I actually would like the momentum to not happen until we get closer to midterms. Truly. I like it to not happen until we get closer to, because nobody, if you look at the market, you're like, hey, my 401k's up, hey, my Bitcoin, dude, I don't want to do anything. Let it keep rolling. I'm not going to say I'm a Republican, but we're going to stay quiet. And we're going to know. That's what's going to happen if the market's doing good. So he's got time. And keep in mind, by then, some of these tariff deals, because they're saying all the deals will be done, except for what? If you have the Lutnick clip, Rob, Trump's trade deals for the world will be done by Friday, but China will take longer, is what Howard Lutnick said. Okay, so out of all the deals that we did, you know, you saw he just increased Brazil by 50% because of what's going on with Alexandre de Moraes and Lula. You saw what he just did with India, 25%. They're saying it'll be done by Friday, but here's Lutnick on China. Go for it, Rob.
Well, I think with respect to other countries, what's happened is many countries had made us okay offers to open their markets, 50%, 30%. And then the president said, no, I want them open. And then they get up to 75%. And the president said, I want it open. So now the price of a deal with the United States of America is black and white. Completely open markets. He wants to make sure that Americans can sell their goods overseas. He's tired of all those years where it was unfair and asymmetric against us. He wants to right the wrong of the last 80 years of trade policy, and he wants to do it now, and that's what he's doing. So are there deals on the table for him to consider? Yes, but he knows that he can just set the rate and set the price and move on, and he said that over and over again. We put in front of him the deal, he sees the deal, and he decides, do I want to do a deal with India or I don't? And that is up to him. We've done our job. They've made offers, but these countries came to the table slowly from what President Trump was hoping for. But of course, from their perspective, no one's moved as fast as the world has moved with respect to Donald Trump. He has moved the world in a way that no one can imagine. He's done this in 6 months. This is amazing, and I am, as you can tell, I'm having the best time working for Donald Trump.
We're out of time, but so you think it's more likely that musical chairs, people are looking around thinking, no one wants to be last, do they? I mean, you think we're going to hear more?
No.
Well, China's going to be tough.
All day.
We only got 30 seconds, but China's going to be tougher.
Always.
Yeah.
China is their own thing. We have our own team working with China. They're their own thing. I'll leave the people who are working with China right now to give you a briefing on what they've accomplished and where they are. I'll leave it to them. But for the rest of the world, we're going to have things done by Friday. And Friday is not that far away. So you should expect, we said August 1st is the date that we're setting all these rates. And they are off to the races after that.
24 hours. Tom, what do we know about this?
Well, Howard Lutnick's not going to go in and say something like that on CNBC because CNBC is the direct line to the markets. CNBC, highly credible with the markets, and Wall Street reacts very quickly to what happens there versus what happens in other forms of interviews, even though the market instantly reacts to most news. What Howard is talking about is he's setting an expectation. China may take longer, but I think we took another step forward. That's what he wanted the markets to hear. And everybody else, he wants to let them know that it's all done. But you've got everybody, that is the truth. And Howard's not going to put himself out that 24 hours later, he's proven wrong because 6 countries go sideways on us. They're not going sideways. The closer it gets to the deadline, the more they're realizing this is serious, this is real. And it's like what he said, we'll give you 50%, we'll give you 75% open. He's like, no, open up so we both can trade back and forth asymmetrical. And you still got, business media out there. I mean, Barron's, I read an article in Barron's was like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And the writer from Barron's actually said, and the Fed could raise rates a quarter point, just trying to create this fear mongering in there. And I was reading this article and I said, this is freaking Barron's. And it was like cue Kid Rock in my head. And we were trying different things. And we were smoking funny things, drinking whiskey from the bottle, don't care about tomorrow. Whoa. That's what it felt like reading this. Is the business, certain part of the business meeting are cheering against.
They are so speechless that this is Kramer's reaction, dropping an F-bomb on how great the economy is doing. Watch this one.
I almost
Go
dropped
for it,
an
Rob.
F-bomb just now.
Our biggest problem is we have so much growth that the Fed won't cut.
What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my
God.
I'm so sorry.
He's so naughty, Jim Cramer.
It's okay. It's okay. We're in the moment.
I take it right back. I take it right back. That was bad.
It's cable with a ticker, as Joe Kernan would say.
I take that back.
That's right.
Real people doing live
you can't
TV.
take it back.
To your point, Goldman today, the most notable change.
I think I'm out of here.
You're fine. You're absolutely
Goldman
fine.
today, the most notable.
You want me to say one?
No, I just feel like enough with the rate cut and the economy's booming.
Let Carl talk now.
Goldman today, most notable change since the June Fed meeting.
I take it back. It's too late, bro. It's gone.
Cut and the economy is booming. So, Tommy, what thoughts do you have on this?
My thoughts are this reminds me of 2017 when they said Trump was going to crash everything, and then things went really, really well up until COVID. And now he's back 2.0. He's got the right people around him this time. He's executing quickly. And I mean, day one, executing. And his instincts, to my earlier point, are usually right, especially on the economy. These trade deals, everyone panicked, everyone freaked out, even conservatives freaked out. Oh, I don't know if this is the right thing, and there's so much uncertainty, and people are losing everything. And then it's like, just trust the process. President Trump looked at our trade deals, and he said, this feels lopsided to me, and I'm the only one that's going to do it. Nobody else is going to have the balls to do it, so I'm going to do it. This is my second administration, now or never, and I believe it. Trust the process. And everyone freaked out. And guess what? We trust the process. And here we are. Same thing with a month ago when they said, oh, he bombed Iran and it's going to be World War III and Trump's starting new wars. And what happened? Nothing that we know of yet. So trust the instincts of President Trump, especially on the economy. He knows what he's doing here.
I think that's a good point. If you voted for him, if you're somebody that's a true voter of him, you got to trust the instincts. If you're somebody that is the first time you voted for him, you're kind of like, well, I don't want to vote for Kamala. I want to. Maybe you can be a little bit more skeptical, but the people that truly did, you got to know that you can debate, you can
Kamala
have the arguments.
would be doing right now, by the way.
There's no question about that.
I mean, can we just imagine right now? Let's just take ourselves to a world where Kamala Harris is the president right now. What would things look like?
The greatest fundraiser of all time. Make sure give her proper.
Everyone would be gay.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
So
alcohol stocks would be up.
Everything Trump is obviously kicking butt. We are just Jerome Powell felt like it hurt for him to say everything is going so great. Like I fear that if God forbid the Republicans don't win again and they have somebody else come in, like Kamala's finished, but somebody like that, they're going to try to undo every single thing that this guy has been doing for the past once we hit the 4-year mark. I mean, what do you think the first thing the Democrats are going to do about the border? Like, Tommy, that scares the hell out of me because, and obviously we want to keep, the momentum going and everything like that. That's the first thing they're going to do is open the border. Number one, without a doubt, open the border. And then number two, they're going to cave to China. They're going to cave to all these people and we're going to go back to where we were.
But
that's
even
the biggest fear.
Even Biden didn't want to completely undo some of Trump's trade work.
That's right.
Even he was like, I will say this, though. I agree with you on that point. However, when Trump did great things during his first term, their excuse was, well, that was actually Obama. It just took a while.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had 4 years of Biden where everything royally sucked. Yeah. And then they're like, well, that's because of Trump. It just took a while to set in. Now you got Trump again. So you go to a Democrat, God forbid, in 2028. What are they going to say? Okay, just like when the Democrats put out that chart that they thought was so funny last week, where it was
under Biden.
Well, look at it, it's like the prices go under Biden, and then they had to delete that.
Yeah.
How do you go from things going well under Trump 1, then it's crap, then it's good, then it's crap? How do you keep lying to people that the Democrats are not the problem, even with the border? Because people were really pissed about the border, and I agree with you. They're going to try to open it up again.
Sure.
But do you know how bad that's going to look if they really try to do that again?
But you know what? The majority of the left, the Democrats, that's what they want. They're over there. They're over there fighting ICE agents. I saw some Karen in California. She was literally like, leave them alone, and trying to take off their mask. And it's like, they're insane. And I'm telling you, half the country would be like, yeah, no, we want it wide open because we love immigrants. This is the country of immigrants. Trust me, they're going to try to do that. And so it's literally a fight for the nation. We cannot let these people get back in power. We can't.
To me, back to this trade thing, if there's one word that Donald Trump stands for, it is fairness. If you notice, the one thing he's always complaining about, they're treating me very unfairly. It's not fair. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. That's why he's so against DEI, because it's not fair. That's why he believes in MEI, because it's actually fair. It's equality, not equity. So everything that he does with this trade, is it fair trade? Is it free trade? Basically, he believes that America has been taken advantage of for decades. And that's the fault of our leaders. It's the fault of our politicians. And they've carved out the middle class. They've carved out manufacturing in this world. And now the average American is like, what the hell's going on here? It's kind of like, we're going to go to Vegas soon. The Vegas, they used to give everybody that say they're the free buffet. Yeah, you go get the buffet. And what happens is this. Oh, it's the free buffet. All right, I'm going to go get a second, a third. Let me go get a plate and bring it up to my room for my family. All of a sudden, all my kids are eating for free. And the buffet is basically being ransacked and rummaged through. And the buffet in the casino is being treated very unfairly. Trump's basically saying, listen, there's no more free buffets. All you countries can't come in here and throw all your products here. And then we can't even eat at all at your restaurant, in your casino. You're making us pay. The buffet line is closed, and all your kids aren't eating for free.
How many times
you're gonna
do you
have to pay?
Say buffet? I mean, I know it's getting close to lunch. Like you're
I'm a little hungry,
buffet. I get it. We'll feed you. Somebody get
but
Adam.
But do you agree that
I
Trump
understand what you're
believes in
saying.
fairness?
Yes, but he's
Equalizing is the word he said he made up, which I don't.
Equalizing.
Yeah.
I've never heard that word before until Trump.
Well, no,
The
he's
great
he's
equalizer.
He's also a hardcore negotiator. So I don't know if his deals that he's doing, he is about fairness, I agree, but he's also pushing the agenda in a major way for America to have a bit of an upper hand. This is the first guy in a long time that's using a leverage the way he has, and he's filled the administration with business people who pay attention to numbers, data, profit, loss, leverage. You look at the world in a completely different way. By the way, I'm going to get to the next story, California. I got some good news for you and some disappointing story. One of the stories I would have never gone to. I'm also uncomfortable going about the story, but it's because of Glendale. People in Glendale. I'm a little bit disappointed with the friends in Glendale. It's going to be uncomfortable reading, especially with Tommy being here. Forgive me, Tommy, in advance for this story. But let's start off with the first one first. Good news, California. We just got good news from Kamala Harris that she will not be running for governor in your state. I know a lot of people are emotional. I know this is tough for you, California.
I have family there.
But this is what she had to say. Over the past 6 months, I've spent time reflecting on this moment of our nation's history, the best way for me to contribute, fighting for the American people and advancing the values and ideals I hold dear. I'm a devout public servant, and from the earliest days of my career, I've believed that the best way I could make a difference in people's lives and fight for a better future was to improve the system from within. And it has become a profound honor to do that and serve the people, In recent months, I've given serious consideration for people in California. Governor, I love this state. It's the people, it's promised, it's my home. But with deepest reflection, I've decided I will not be running for governor in this election, okay? Now, whether she wrote this, her staff wrote it, or ChatGPT wrote it.
Somebody started a sentence with "and," so there, as somebody who's a
by the way, that's
person.
ChatGPT. No. Look at that right there. The nation
hyphen?
and the side.
Yeah.
ChatGPT wrote it.
That's ChatGPT. You know
that's what you look for.
Yep, the little hyphens.
Rob, can you do me a favor? Copy paste.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
No, it is though.
What is
because
that? That's
only ChatGPT
Put
does
hyphens.
that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Do me a favor, Rob. Put this thing in ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, did you write this?
By the way, grammatically, that's called the M. An extended hyphen is an M.
Any AI, because she could have done it on Grok, they could have done it anywhere. But let's see if it's ChatGPT. Because a lot of
maybe say did you or Grok? She would use ChatGPT over Grok.
ChatGPT or any
she
AI.
Give it a vibe. She's a ChatGPT.
This woman is so lazy.
She is.
She is so lazy and entitled.
Was this written by you?
AI or ChatGPT?
I think you mispronounced pickled. So
let's see this here. Hang on. By the way, that one hyphen that's in there, you are that lazy to look for deleting that?
AI's like, do I do it?
No, ChatGPT is going to say no.
Rob, put ChatGPT
because
specifically after this.
Then ask afterwards, did you write this?
Guys, I won't sit here and just let you
take
down my
AI.
Kamala like this, guys.
Okay.
She's a capable
Why? It's
person.
likely was an AI generated tone. Okay.
Look at the hyphen that they use in its
Rob,
however, it's possible.
Ask back and say, but the hyphen between, okay, can you go to exactly when that was used? Can you go back and you just copy paste that side? That
Nation
sentence.
as a prosecutor.
And just copy paste that part that says that it's not allowing you to do so.
No, because it's an image, but I can rewrite it. Give me 1 second, I will.
If you just type that in there, the hyphen is elongated in the statement. Isn't that a sign it was written by ChatGPT specifically? Wow, if that's the case, this is...
Great observation.
You're referring to the M dash, which is used multiple times, Kamala Harris statement. Let's break it down. Does that use of M dash means not necessarily? The M dash is a... But we've never seen this before.
Ever.
Why people associate with them? Some people notice that ChatGPT, M dash, okay, but there's no... Was that actually matters when using it? If you're trying to detect the... Wow. Listen. So we know that was written by ChatGPT.
Yeah, come on.
Okay? So look,
ChatGPT's a liar.
Good news, bad news, it is what it is. I'm from Glendale, California. To my friends in Glendale, all the Armenian, all the friends. What is this all about, guys? What is this? Like, I've read some uncomfortable stories. This one's extremely uncomfortable. He's got is that a Wu-Tang Clan shirt? Or what is he? What shirt is that?
Listen, that ain't
Rob,
nothing
play that
to
clip.
F with.
Rob, play that clip.
Loitering in the women's department in Nordstrom Rack in the Burbank Empire Center. When they got there, the man was already gone, but he was soon spotted inside the nearby Walmart. Police say they watched him on Walmart surveillance cameras as he entered the women's clothing section.
What?
That's where police say they witnessed Crowder crouching near a woman and sniffing her. They arrested him, on charges of loitering with intent to commit a crime. His bail set at $100,000.
I don't even know what to say. Like, what do you think about the story? What is your analysis?
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
The question is, what are you doing, buddy? Is this him?
This is one of the victims. There's a victim explaining what happened.
By the way, let me ask you a question. So this is a serious question, Rob. Is this like one of those guys that in Walmart goes and hugs people and say, "Oh, what's up, Jenny? How you doing? I remember you're my high school teacher."
No.
So this is not a YouTube prankster.
No, it's not a prankster. This is a freaking creep out in public, knowing that there's cameras everywhere. Wow. Literally being a disgusting human being.
Well, maybe he really is a dog.
Like a dog is down.
He is disgusting.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I have 2 dogs. Guess what they do all day?
They sniff butts
Sniffing
all day.
each other all day after we
Yeah,
go.
it's just
Play
a
this
simple
one here, Rob?
greeting.
No, this is...
He pretends like he's doing... And he's
Saying that
huge.
they recognize the guy. It felt like anywhere I moved, he kept following me. So I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual... Pretending to be, like, crouching down by a bookshelf and then coming behind me and smelling me. And he does the same thing to another girl in the video as well. I was so freaked out when I turned around and saw him literally under me, so freaking close to me. At least his name is out there, his face is out there, so people can be
4
aware.
agreements she's reading.
Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
was it the 4 agreements?
That in her hands is the 4 agreements, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, look,
Dude,
guys.
that is insane.
To the people in Glendale, seriously, guys, like, get it
If I was her, I'd
together.
call the cops. What are you recording?
Just
Like,
get it together.
Get the cops.
This is just...
Well, because you have to get the content. That's what I think is the interesting part of this. If I had a creeper following me around, the last thing I would probably be doing is doing like a narrated TikTok about, and there was this man behind me, get ready with me today to go to the bookstore and watch this man sniff my butt.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Hey, it's going to be dangerous. I might actually get raped.
And then let him. You're like, he's doing it. Maybe she should also be
Maybe
like...
she's a freak.
Yeah.
You know what? What are you doing?
You know,
So
what's he charged with exactly?
Dude, that guy needs
Butt
to grow
sniffing?
hair on the side of his
Butt
ears.
sniffing?
He's got to have hair.
Sniffing with intent to, I don't know.
I don't even know what the hell is going on.
Once in a while,
This
you
is
get these
also-
completely weird stories that come up. I remember being in college and I was in a business law class. And as a joke, the professor, and this is now seared into my brain since that time, says, had us read the case of Michael Kenyon at the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. But he was another one of these freaks that would go around and do like incredibly weird stuff like this. And then there's this fascination with it because it's so weird. It's not like drunk jock rapes cheerleader. Okay, terrible, horrible personal assault that happens from time to time. And then you get these weird things, serial sniffer. And it just kind of...
I know one of those serial sniffers. The
Hunter?
auto pen buddy.
What?
No.
Oh yeah, he loves sniffing
he's
all
sniffing
kids.
kids' heads though.
Well, both father and son. One sniffs white
Yeah,
powder,
those-
one sniffs young girls.
Well,
he also cooks it.
Yeah, and Michael Kenyon at the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, was known as the Illinois Enema Bandit. And so...
What the hell, Tom?
Well, listen, respectfully, to the president's credit, he's not butt sniffing. He's just sniffing.
No.
This dude took it to a whole different level, okay? And Anyways, I wanted to spend as little time on this story as possible. Okay? We're going to move on, Vinny. I know you want us to stay here for 30 minutes. I'm going to move on.
But this is going on in Glendale, just to be sure.
Heartbroken. Part of me is heartbroken. This is why many Armenians in the next 5 to 10 years will be moving to Boca Raton, Florida. Armenians, watch when I told you this. 5 to 10 years, you're going to be 22 miles north from here, and you're going to love it. And you're going to thank me for the rest of your life, okay? Only the job-creating Armenians come here. Everybody else, stay in Glendale, California. Enjoy it.
Leave the butt snippers back in Glendale.
That's exactly.
All right, let's go to the next story. All right. Stephen Colbert, left-wing Slate show, became therapy session for liberal study, okay, shows. Let's go to the study here. Page 16. Okay, don't show the numbers, Rob. I just want the audience to see this here, to see what the reaction is going to be, okay? So here's what's weird. A study by media watchdog Newsbusters found that since 2022, embattled funny man Stephen Colbert, I don't find him funny, but apparently he's a funny man.
No.
The Late Show hosted 176 left-leaning guests and had only one Republican during that time. Do you know who the one Republican was? Liz Cheney.
No, you're joking.
Did you know this or no?
That is hilarious.
The one Republican is Liz Cheney. I'm not kidding with you.
That is hilarious.
This is the charts. Look at this. Seth Meyers, 0 conservatives. Noah, 0. Corden, 0. Colbert, out of 176 liberals, only 1 conservative. Jimmy Kimmel, 58 to 2. And I think one of the guys was a pillow guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Daily Show, 157 to 9. 95% of the guests are liberals. Fallon, 41 to 2. All in all, 511 liberal guests to 14 conservative. 97% of the time, they were on the other side. They're wondering why the show didn't do well, okay? They're wondering. But is anybody surprised? What do you think about, Tommy, when you see a number like this of 176 left versus 1 to the right?
Same thing on The View. No conservatives. They have the one semi-conservative that they beat up on a daily basis, but of course she also hates Trump, so that's the qualifier there. So it's no surprise to me that people are not watching. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from South Dakota. People that watch these late night shows or watch these comedy shows, they're not really people who live in New York City or people who live in LA or even Chicago in big hubs, because those people at night, they're going out, they're socializing. The people that are watching these shows, and the same thing with like the award shows, used to be people kind of in the Midwest that they sit around with their family and they watch TV at night, and it was kind of their entertainment for places that didn't have a hustling, bustling scene. But those people also happen to be more conservative, and they happen to probably have voted for President Trump. So why would they want to watch this at night? They don't. They want to turn off the TV. So they think this is some big conspiracy as Donald Trump is making these shows fail and flop. No, it's that you're no longer representing not only both views, but you're representing one view, and the other half of the country and the majority of the country has a different view, and they're not going to watch you because you're also not funny when you do it. So this isn't some big mystery here. It's pretty obvious. These people do not know who their audience used to be, and they'll probably never get them back.
That's interesting, because while you're saying what you're saying, your assistant just told Chad, one of our team members here, that Kamala Harris will be on Stephen Colbert tonight.
You're joking.
It just broke. Rob, can you check this, Rob? This was just announced literally right now.
Oh, wow. Of course.
So that's now 177 to 1. Unless if she's going to announce tonight that she's going to become a Republican and flip parties. Kamala Harris set for first post-election appearance on what show? The Stephen Colbert Show.
Wow. That is so funny.
Is anybody surprised? Anybody surprised with numbers like this? Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
So there used to be an old saying in media, win the central time zone. So we live in these, silos of the California liberals and the New York liberals and everything on that's going on the East Coast bias and our ivory towers. But the true Americans live in the breadbasket. They live in South Dakota. They live in Nebraska. They live in Iowa. They live in the Midwest. And that phrase has been lost by the big media legacy companies that would just double down on what I would call these late night confirmation bias, echo chambers, groupthink, tribalism mentalities, siloed. And here's a living example of Stephen Colbert, who'd just been canned. Not one conservative has appeared on their show. And the one that did was Liz Cheney, was spearheading the January 6th involvement with Trump. So it just, the number one thing to me is the Democratic Party is the party of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. The whole concept of diversity is they want everyone to be diverse, except for how you think. You have to think
look diverse.
Exactly.
Look diverse, not think diverse.
Correct. And that's the biggest problem, is that the number one type of diversity that you should be striving for is opinions, not how you look. And that's the biggest problem. What do you think?
So to that point, I want to say The Daily Show actually had 9, and that's better than most. I was on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. I believe to this day it might be one of the most streamed episodes of The Daily Show online. And he wanted me on because guess what? It was good for ratings, right? And he wanted to chop it up with me. And it made for good TV. And people enjoyed it. And people watched it. And people hated me for it. And hated him secretly because they had me on. And, oh, how dare you platform this person, whatever. But it was highly viewed. And Trevor Noah, at that time, he understood. Okay, Trump just won an election. This was back in the first Trump 1.0. Let's have somebody on that was a voice of kind of mega. And he thought that was going to be good TV. And it was. But the reason that the Colberts and them and The View and whatever, and I was also on The View, that they don't want to have the conservatives on now, it's not because they won't get ratings and people won't watch. It's because they don't want to humanize or normalize conservatives. Because if you sit down and you're a liberal and you sit down and watch a conservative on one of these shows and you realize that they're actually funny or charismatic or they got some good ideas and they're not this boogeyman, then oh no, you might change the way you vote. And they are not going to take that risk. They won't have them on, not because people won't watch, because people will watch, and they might change the way they vote and think. And that's dangerous.
And you know the most watered down word, I'm sure you've heard it before, is racist. Yeah. If you were called racist 5, 10, 20 years ago, your career was done. Being called racist now is just like, all right, cool. It's meaningless at this point. It's lost its tooth.
Well, ad sales for American Eagle are racist now.
Yeah. Oh.
Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, horrible. And good. And I'm happy that because of that and all that hate, she's almost $300 million just for American Eagle. Did you guys see what Jay Leno said about the whole Colbert situation?
What did he say?
Rob, why don't you play the clip? He says a little something about making fun of both sides. Check this out.
There you go.
I like to think that people come to a comedy show to kind of get away from the things, you know, the pressures of life, wherever it might be. And I love political humor, don't get me wrong, but it's just what happens was people wind up cozying too much to one side or the other. Why shoot for just half an audience all the time? You know, why not try to get the whole... I mean, I like to bring people into the big picture. I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group. I like to think that people...
Yeah, it's very, very true. Well, and it's like, guys, it didn't work. And I'm so freaking happy that people, I mean, it took a while. We got Adam on our side. It takes a while. Everybody, it's like enough is enough. And like that, bro.
It's just, you know, it's not even enough is enough. I think the main thing, Vinny, is it's a bad business model.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a bad business model. Guy says the other day, he sends a tweet. This is why, you know, PBD podcast won't have Thomas Massey on. He won't have, you know, Whitney Webb back on. He won't have, he said these 5, 6, 9. I'm like, okay, we've invited Whitney Webb multiple times.
She's been on twice.
She's been on 2 times.
She doesn't live in the country.
We invited Thomas Massey on 20 times.
No.
Doesn't come. We've invited so many people on. We've invited Van Jones on. We exchanged messages. He's trying to find a time for his calendar to come on. We invited Don Lemon on. We've invited so many different people on. I will do a one-on-one or a, what do you call it? Home team like this. Preferably a one-on-one. The first time I sit down, I want to talk. We invited, who was the guy that on the Zoom, he did what he did? What was his name?
Jeffrey Toobin.
We had Toobin on. We had, Cuomo started coming back on. We had so many enemies.
We miss you, Chris.
We like having the, Cuomo and I talked the other day, we're trying to get a date on the calendar to come back on. We don't mind the conversations. We like the conversations. We like the banter. We like the discourse. It's just a bad business model for late night. By the way, you could do that as a podcast because podcast is talk to whoever you want to talk to. Mm-hmm. Actually, don't judge it if you're done on a podcast. Mm-hmm. I want to talk to people I want to talk to. Late night, the purpose of late night is to talk to who? The late night people that are sitting on the couch or the bed with their husband and wife and just want to sit there and laugh at everybody. And you go one-sided, terrible, terrible business model that they have. Let's do a couple of the stories in the next 16 minutes, and let's wrap up. One of the ones I do want to talk about, which is very important, is aging. Okay? Aging. And there's this age, guys, that really is not good for you. Whatever you do, try to skip this age. Your body starts aging faster at this inflection point. There's only one person in this room that can tell us what it's like when you get past this age.
I got it.
It's earlier than you think. Okay, here's New York Post. Guys, I just want you to don't be offended by the story, Tom, everybody else. We're just going to go through the story a little bit and brace for impact on what it has to say. Vinny,
I know.
you're going to be okay.
My back hurts.
All right,
no,
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Chinese scientists. That's
those
already
guys,
a problem.
those
With
guys,
credibility is gone.
That's just what we're doing.
Do they work from Wuhan?
Analyzing
Automatically don't trust it.
Are they in the Wuhan lab?
Chinese scientists analyzing 516 tissue samples from 76 organ donors.
That's forced organ donors.
Ages 14 to 68 found that protein level changes in the adrenal gland begin as early as 30, but the body hits an aging inflection around age 50.
Damn.
With blood vessels, particularly the aorta, being markedly susceptible to aging per the study. Temporal analysis revealed an aging, this is not me making, this is
great words, I love it.
Temporal analysis revealed an aging inflection around age 50 with blood vessels being a tissue that ages early. The study authors wrote the number of 48 protein linked of diseases like cardiovascular disease and liver tumor became significantly more prominent as donor age increased. Tom, is this true?
Yes. And I'll tell you, this is why you should go in for all your cancer screenings. And it's not a man thing. It's a male-female thing. If you're not going in for uterine cancer screenings and prostate screenings and, set all the jokes aside about the process of that, you're being a fool, because after 50, your body does change. I still run, but I'll tell you, if I go for a big run, the soreness is there, more than just the next morning. And so, thank God for Advil. But these things also, you find out, I got my plaque score. My plaque is low. I don't want my plaque to go further. And I respect the fact that it will take my body longer to recover. And you have just propensities about getting old. And what they're saying is, I can't comment on, oh my gosh, I realized this was happening at age 45 or 50. I didn't know it was happening that early. But is the notion that, hey, aging may be happening in little ways earlier than we think, is that a crazy notion? And skip all the jokes about the Chinese scientists that did this. I don't think that's a crazy notion. And I see things in myself that I now monitor, and I do things. That's why, as you know, I don't have any artificial sugars or anything in my coffee. There's a bunch of things that I do,
I met Tom the first time. We went to, my pastor said, I want to introduce you to the smartest guy in the church. Okay, and this is a church of 20,000 members.
Wow.
And so we went to this restaurant called Black Angus. And we're in Topanga, California. We're at this restaurant. Tom speaks for 59 minutes. I speak for 1 minute. And all I said is, how you doing? Gone. For an hour, Tom's just talking. And he said, have you ever done an executive test? I said, what's executive test? Executive health test, the executive physical. I said, I've never heard of it. I'm 28 years old. I don't know how old I am at the time. No, what? Yeah, probably 29, 30, or 28 years old. And he says, you got to go take this test. So I said, okay, go to UCLA, spend like $5,000, $10,000. And then from morning 6:30 a.m. till 5 in the afternoon, you go meet like 10 doctors. And they do everything on you. Plaque, heart, you run, bones, cancer, eyes, everything, okay? Mayo does this. They do it certain place. They do it here as well. I just did it last year with one of the local facilities.
They give you a book. There's a baseline for everything.
Literally, at the end of it, they sit you down and tell you every aspect of your life. This is for busy people that cannot go see 9 doctors in 9 weeks. That you just do it all in one day. It's a phenomenal system. Highly recommended. It gives you so many different things. And nowadays, people can do blood work, and there's so many, when the Gary Breccas go viral and the Paul Saladinos and these guys are talking, Joe Rogan talking about all these different ways to improve your health. People are more interested in it than ever before. But for somebody that is living a very busy life and you follow the content, you're a business owner, you're someone that's always going, just go do one of those one-day executive physicals. Get all of it done in one day. Since Tom told me, I've done it probably 6 times in the last 18 years, 7 times in the last 18 years. And it saves you time. It gives you clarity. It makes you at peace. And if there's adjustments that you need to make, it helps you do that as well. But in this panel, we have a person that's in her 20s. Okay,
Oh, I'm 32.
No, I'm
but
just teasing you. You started 15, so I'm doing the math. You look like you're in your 20s. I figured you're 30, 31. But, okay, so we have somebody here that is
47.
47.
I'm
We
about
have
to be
somebody
40.
here.
I'm about to be 40 one of these days.
He's been saying this for 5 years.
Yes,
He's 45.
true.
So it's 45, 46, 47, 28, 59 for the last 4 years.
63, you can say it.
And you still got it.
63.
Listen,
No,
Pat.
I said this the other day, how good he looks at the
Pat,
what do you call cigar lounge.
Listen, I'm not going to just sit here and let you pick on my friend Tom.
Yeah.
Don't be an ageist.
No, that's your job.
Exactly.
Yeah, how dare
Stay in
you.
your lane, sir.
I won't do that again. That is
Tom
your,
and I, he
your
just had his
job.
birthday, what, June
Yeah.
23rd?
Exactly.
We went to Miami, went to the club. We stayed out all night.
Tom's a maniac.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Tom was a maniac.
Tom still
I
got it.
came in today. I'm like, Adam, have you lost some weight? He said, I've been lifting more. So why have you been lifting more?
Yeah.
He says, well, it's like just, what'd you say? We're going to Vegas or what?
Going to the vault, baby. We
Going
got to
the vault.
look
Yeah,
good.
we got to look good for the vault.
Listen, I will say this.
I don't know if it's for
you
the
know,
vault or not.
there's people that say Trump is 79, Biden is 82.
Shit.
All right, there's yeah, he's 80. He looks good for 80, or he's doing well for 80.
Trump?
And no, in general, but yes,
He looks
Trump.
great. Yeah, for
But then Biden, dude, that guy's
He doesn't even know
he's got one foot on a banana peel, one foot in the grave.
Tom's not 63.
So that's my point.
And
Is it's not
sniffing.
just age; it's health. Age plus health equals life expectancy. You know, that's my business.
Wow.
People think, what was the last story we talked about where they're like, Trump could go any minute?
Michael.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That was Michael.
Yeah.
I don't freaking think so.
All right.
So Trump's doing okay. Tom, you're doing okay.
Have you done an executive physical?
No.
Have you done an executive physical?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Okay.
Once a year.
Are you
Oh, I
being
don't know if
so-
it's an executive physical.
No,
I
no.
get like the
He
ghetto
does
physical.
the employee physical.
I get the
They just put a
employee
thumb in his butt and they go,
Yeah.
"You're
Well,
good."
that
he just
works.
walks out.
Can we acknowledge the
good.
craziest thing?
What's
That Vinny is older than you.
Yeah, by a
What's
couple
your
months.
point,
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Are you trying to say like I look older than him?
You look older, you act older, you sound older, you conduct yourself older.
I mean, listen.
has a
if
family
you're
of
gonna
seasons.
take
What is
shots
this?
at Tom, now you're taking shots at me.
Wow.
No, I don't. I'm taking
you-
shots at Vinny.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is what it is. But the reality of it is, very basic quote, proper preparation prevents poor
Yes.
performance. Don't be the person that's saying, I don't need to get a physical right now, because sometimes it's too late.
That's true.
Go get your everything checked out. I'm at that age where that one procedure you're talking about, Tom, when I was 45, I went to the lady, she's like, would you like to do your, what is it called? What did you say? What a prostate test, whatever they have to do
Yeah.
to you?
Mm-hmm.
Said, you can do it now or you can do it 50. I said, I think I'll wait 5 more years. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go 5 more
Really?
years.
I
Yeah,
went to get my prostate done. It was a buy one, get one. So I went back the next day. It was great.
Oh,
Good deal.
my God.
Listen, we
It's
believe
Tom, you were
the,
there.
It's like
We
the
believe
doctor
you.
that uses
Let's just
two
admit we all look great, especially one person who may or may not be dressed in pink. That's all
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
say.
it.
We all look great.
Well, we appreciate your kindness, Adam.
Yeah,
It's
you're a
very,
sweet guy,
very
Adam.
Gentle.
There you go.
It's really,
Let's go to the next story.
it's really my
All
pleasure,
right,
guys.
so, Tommy, do you drink Starbucks? Do you like coffee?
Yeah, but I do it at home. I'm
Oh,
not.
you
I'm
mean-
not a let's waste money at Starbucks.
Oh,
Save
really?
that
So
money,
you're
Yeah.
making
Tommy
yourself-
Lahren.
Thank
I like
you
that.
very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
There it
So
is.
what's your
My
form-
husband loves it though, like multiple times a day.
Husband?
Yeah.
What the? You have a husband? Guys, I'm out of here, man. This is what?
But she said earlier she has a friend who is single.
Okay,
That's
fine.
true.
Jessica, she gave you a
Jessica
person.
single?
Hook it up
So
with a
fun.
sip.
All right, hang on. All right, so Starbucks reveals shocking earning in the latest report. Okay, Starbucks CEO confirms plans to close up 90 locations by the end of 2026. Rob, why don't you start off with that one? By the way, let me give you a reminder of who this guy is. He is one of the most sought-out CEOs in America the last 15 years. This guy came into Chipotle when it was worth $7 billion. 6 years later, after he left Chipotle as the CEO, Chipotle was worth $71 billion. Okay?
Wow.
That's Brian Niccol. He started off, I believe, as a CMO, Can you look, Rob, if he was a CMO of Domino's Pizza or another? Brian Nichol was a CMO of Domino's Pizza, or who was he the CMO of? It was one of the pizza. It was a CMO. He used to be a CMO of a pizza place. Go if you can see pizza. Yeah, type in a pizza. He was with some pizza company before, like 12 years ago. There it is, a major pizza chain for
Little Caesars, Pizza.
Brian Nichols listed.
He was the dough man.
No, I'm telling you, he was a pizza CMO at some kind of a pizza brand. Domino's.
Hut.
Okay,
Pizza
yeah,
Hut.
Domino's. Was it Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut.
Okay, so he was a CMO at Pizza Hut, right?
Okay.
And then goes to Chipotle, and then goes
This guy's been around the block.
He's a
is what we're
star.
saying.
And listen.
Pizza, Mexican
Starbucks
bowls.
brought him in because Starbucks was having so many issues with the lazy CEO they had that said, if you call me after 6 o'clock,
that's
you
right.
better have a plan. You don't call me after 6 o'clock. That was the former CMO, who was a former, I think he was like a consultant at one of these consulting firms.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, Rob,
Wall
play the
Street
clip.
Spank that dude.
This guy's legit. So he's a heavyweight. Go for it.
This is him explaining why they're making this shift away from the 90 locations that they have open and closing them.
Go for it.
When I got here about 10 months ago, we said we were going to get going on this back to Starbucks strategy, which really is founded first and foremost on resetting our operating platform. Unfortunately, I think there were some choices made before me that really set us back on our ability to create that great customer connection between our barista and customer and provide the type of customer service that the Starbucks brand, frankly, is known for and should be known for. And so that's really why we created the Green Apron service model. It's all around basically providing the right labor in store so that our partners have the right amount of time to execute the tasks that they need to execute, and then also be able to give the customer service and that connection to our customers that we want to provide. And also as a part of this, we had to bring some order to mobile order. We had to make sure that we were staffed and deployed correctly for the drive-through. So, look, I'm really proud of where we are, and the fact that actually during our pilot across 1,500 stores, we saw tremendous progress on both, the order to mobile order, the ability to be deployed correctly, the ability to provide the right customer service experience, which gave us the confidence to say, rather than just doing this across a couple thousand stores, we're going to put it across all our stores. And that's really what I was referencing in the call, which is, hey, that's what has us ahead of schedule, is getting the operating foundation back in place, getting back to being a world-class customer service company, and really setting up the expectation that you're going to have the ability to have the community experience you want in our cafes and the connection that you want with our baristas. And,
Rob. So, yeah, I mean.
The connection with the baristas. There are some nice people, but I don't know what's happening. It doesn't matter if you're in the most conservative city. Everybody with green hair and gauges and a septum piercing and, ambiguous gender works at the freaking Starbucks.
She's right. She's 100% right.
No, I know.
Even out here.
We're in Hamptons, and I'm like, what is wrong with
everybody's off?
Why do you think that is?
Flock. I don't know if that's the culture. I don't know.
How do you hire, though?
I don't think they have.
Do you hate your
standards.
dad? You damn right. Get in there. Color your hair. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Even right here, we're in Florida. You go outside our office. There's a Starbucks. One girl has my pronouns are she, him, them, they. She's plural.
She has all of them?
She has every one of them. They, us.
Meet her.
What, them.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
Respect. No, I just wonder. By the way, this guy, the day they announced him as a CEO, Starbucks made $20 billion the day of the announcement of him being hired. Stock went up 20 to 25% day one. And his complete pay package was like $98 million. Everybody was bitching about it.
Is he the one that instituted the reforms about the clothing that they were striking over? I think it must have been him if he's been around for
but he's only been around for a few months.
Because they freaked out and they started protesting because they had to wear a black shirt and khakis, I believe.
Yeah.
And the green hairs and stuff, they still can have their green hair and look like freaks, but they just have to wear the khakis and the black shirt. And they were mad that they didn't get to express themselves. And they had to wear even what would be a very baseline uniform. They were very pissed off about that, and they were striking over it.
It's going to be interesting on how he matches because he's a disciplinarian himself. And I looked it up on who he was with. He was with Taco Bell for 6 years, and he was with Pizza Hut for 6 years when he worked for Yum Brands. So 2005 to 11 Pizza Hut, 2011 to 2018 was Yum Brands with Taco Bell. So, yeah, apparently that's the guy. Tom, what are your thoughts on this here yourself? Because I know you're following the story closely.
So I have two key thoughts. The first is I'm a fan of Brian Nichol because I'm a fan of strong leadership and people want to get it done. And I hope he turns Starbucks into a long-term investable stock, because that's where, you know, I see a reflection of it. Now then, if he's going to win me back, second thing, if he's going to win me back and others, he's still got work to do. And I think he knows he's got work to do. I don't want to go in there where I feel, you know, I wear my future looks bright hat or something, and I don't want to have this side eye from the barista or the clerk there. And by the way, I did this. I'm telling you, I did this. And Kim freaked out when I did it. They asked for my name, and I said, it's 2 words. Let me spell for you. Goat, and then second word, RUMP. And
goat rump?
But say it fast.
I don't want to do this.
Go Trump.
Go Trump. And they said, I got a white mocha for Go Trump. And then everybody looks around like this. Thank you. And Kim's like, they're going to shoot you in here. You're going to get killed. But my point is, what's my point?
That, Tom.
What's my point? My point is, if you want to, you're doing things to bring the experience back, but you need to Brian, you got to bring the experience back for everybody. We all got to go in there and feel welcomed and not get the side-eye look. And there's a lot of things with your staff, the same staff that were protesting when you were just trying to get a unified dress code so there was unification and things. You know what, Brian? You've got some work to do there, because when I was in the Hamptons this summer, I didn't go to Starbucks, not once. I went to Hampton Coffee, and I wore my Future Looks Bright hat. And there's a lot of liberals there. There was conservatives there. Not once did I get anything other than please and thank you and just friendly surface. And so that's what you're up against, where you've got things like that that are a alternative. And so I wish him luck. I want to see him win, because there was a day where I was a regular Starbucks customer. I was there on my phone, ordered my regular drink, came in, picked it up, said hello to the person. But that's years ago. He's still got work to do, but I hope he makes it.
Well, they're making the shift, because remember in 2017, I was in LA when this was happening. They had an open door policy. That means anyone could just use Starbucks, all the areas, bathroom. Dude, there was homeless people washing their butts in the sink, and they couldn't do anything about it. So they changed January 2025. They changed it. Starbucks announced its new coffee house code of conduct.
This is what year?
2018 was the open door policy.
This was under Schultz.
Schultz was the guy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Howard
Schultz. Woke, forget it.
He's not fully woke. He's a libertarian, but he's definitely not a Republican. He wanted to run for president. He almost ran for president, but he did try to
let everybody
pander and try to
crowd.
Please those guys. And by the way, I just looked it up right now. 87% of their employees donate to liberal candidates since 2004 to 2019. And I said, why are so many employees at Starbucks part of LGBTQ? What did it tell you, Rob? Starbucks established a Pride Partner Network as employee resource group partner as early as 1996. ERGs like this attract, support, and empower
transgender allyship.
Got it. So that's what they want.
They got it.
That's what they want. By the way, have you had a bad experience at Starbucks? Have you had a bad experience?
Yeah, only when I see the bill.
Yeah.
Have you actually had a bad experience?
Well, if you're saying paying $6 for
no,
a $2,
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
that's saying it's expensive.
No.
What I'm saying is,
getting side eye and it's just like this, and they look at you.
Have you had a bad experience?
Me and Humberto went to the drive-thru, and it was an older, woke-looking lady, and they messed up the drink. And then I asked for it again, and she was just like. It was, and I was like, "Excuse me, I told the orders what my order is," and she messed it up. But it's just the majority of the people in there don't like they're in Florida. They look like they hate us.
I say, bias. Here's what you do.
Go ahead.
Have a shirt.
Okay.
Every time you walk into Starbucks, that says "Feel the Burn." Wear like a Bernie Sanders shirt.
Yeah.
Go in
coffee
there.
burn you.
Look at the smiles you get.
I'll do that.
By the way, you know what you should do?
Okay.
You should wear. I'm actually being very serious right now.
I'm writing this down.
Do a comedy skit, not even a skit, test, experience. Wear a Hillary Clinton, I'm with her, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Wear all those shirts, Bernie Sanders, and go into the same Starbucks.
Okay.
And see how they treat you.
Okay.
And then go and wear a Trump shirt with a MAGA hat and see how they treat you.
Okay, and I'll put undercover camera on my shirt. Okay.
There's a simple solution.
Punches me in the face.
In the Starbucks, you play country music. Watch how it changes.
Oh, yeah.
Play country music. Watch how it changes.
Why do you say that?
I think the people that are there that have the green hair and the septum piercings and all that, I don't think they'll work there anymore with the country music. I don't. It just changes the complete vibe of everything. I'm just telling you, play country music.
Maybe in Nashville.
Do they
Nashville
play country music in
everywhere
Nashville?
plays. No,
That's
not
true.
in the Starbucks. No, we have the green hairs, the septum piercings.
We could wear our T-shirts that say "I love country."
Even
music.
Nashville.
Yes, even Nashville. Nashville's a
You remember
blue city though. But it's every
Speaking
coffee.
in
You notice
code.
that every coffee
I was gonna
place,
say,
for the
there's
most part, is.
Do you remember we were in Austin? I believe we went to that coffee shop.
Austin is not Nashville. Yeah,
I'm just saying in general, there was like 3
Yeah,
transgender
I
people
remember.
working at the Starbucks
There's
and hanging
something
out.
about it.
But Tommy brings up the biggest thing. Forget about ideology for a second. Starbucks will make you go broke. You talked about how you make coffee from home and
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous
Save
to
that
spend
money.
money on watered down.
One
coffee
time
with
I
icing.
did a Monect and I was helping somebody with their personal finance. I said, "Where's all your money going? You make $100,000 a year, but you have no money saved." I was like, "Let's walk through your big 3 expenses: your housing, your transportation, your food and beverage." Came out to be that they went to Starbucks every single morning, and they spent $6 on a coffee plus a little sandwich. Go, dude, you're spending $12 every morning at Starbucks. Do the math on that. Okay, so you're spending $50, $60 a week. You're spending $2,500 a year on Starbucks. That's money that can go in your Roth IRA, that money can go to 401k, and now you're just getting watered down coffee and you have no money to show for it. It's called death by 1,000 sips.
I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but she said
no,
she
Vinny, you
loves-
could shut up now because I'm talking.
Rob, I'm so sorry.
For me, I don't care about the wokeism, the ideology, the LGBT, the trans, the average person will basically go broke drinking Starbucks.
Tom, because she said she loves country music. Me and Tom love country music, and Tom showed me this T-shirt that people sell. I love country music. Get it?
Oh wow.
Oh my God, I don't.
Vinny, that's why you had to interrupt me, buddy?
Tom
for
makes
this
me Tom
stupid
is
meme?
hilarious.
We got Tommy Lahren here, going to
Oh,
act like an
guys.
infant.
God.
Okay.
I'm
Tommy,
so sorry,
We are
Chad.
at the
Tom's
end of the
hilarious.
podcast.
Tommy, I'm sorry
What are
for
you
his
currently working on? Is there any project, anything that you're currently working
Well,
on?
listen, I got a daily show, 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on Outkick.com, also on FoxNews.com. And if I can make it back in time tonight, I'll be on Jesse Waters Primetime. The other night I was on right after you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we were in different places.
Yes.
But I followed you. It was a good time.
Yes.
Love
To me,
Jesse.
Jesse is phenomenal.
He is.
I like Jesse because it's also at the right time. Sometimes at 9 to 10, Hannity's like, hey, why can't you?
It's
like,
late.
listen, like, you bring me at 9:10. I don't get to go till 9:40. It changes. Then by the time I come back. So, but Jesse, I love how Jesse runs his show. And anyways, go to Tomi Lahren's show. We're going to put the link below as well for people to go there. Vinny, you
Can I
look
give
like,
one shout out, Pat?
I'm trying to do the
Oh,
shout
my
out.
God.
I'm going to go to Manek.
Unbelievable.
Guys, today's the last day for Manek. There's 2 announcements for you. Today's the last day for the Manek contest. Vinny's already broken the all-time record. Lindy Lee is right behind him. Zeus is breaking a record.
He just broke 4,000 right now.
He is intense what he's doing.
4,000 points.
But if there's anything Adam said today that offended you, Manek Tim, if there's anything you want to have a little bit deeper conversation with Tom, Manek Tim, but Vinny is about to break the record. Go help him out. And next week, we won't be here, and the time changes for the podcast for Thursday and Friday. So add it to your calendars. Rob played this clip, and you'll find out why. Can we even play this song, Rob?
I believe so. I think we're okay.
Oh, this is Austin Powers music.
So this is the
Look
time.
at these guys.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Sick. Hey, there
Joker's
you are.
wild.
There you are.
Do I know you,
No,
Vinny?
but there you are.
Oh,
You're right
that's
there.
all. Okay.
So next week,
All right.
Tuesday and Thursday, the podcast will be at noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please add it to your calendar because we will be in Vegas all week.
Vegas,
And then
baby!
I will be in LA Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or something
true,
like that.
yeah.
Something like that. We'll be in
Thursday,
LA on those
Friday,
days.
Saturday.
Anyways,
Friday.
Tommy, you're the bomb.
Joker's
Great to have
wild.
you on.
Thanks
for being here,
Tommy Lahren.
Appreciate you. Guys, we'll see you on Tuesday. God bless. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.